It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, welcome back aboard Rando Tuesday style, Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice, Hayes, and CB. Boys, how we feeling?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. March Madness officially tips off tonight. It's kind of got that week 0 vibe for me, AR. You know when that college football gets going and you have the week 0 where it's like it's there, but my emotion isn't at its peak the way it will be when the real games kick off. That's kind of how I feel about the games tonight that are taking place within the bracket, and I'm using air quotes right now. But, yeah, I'm feeling good, man. I got nothing to complain about. Looks like we're going to get some decent weather again today. And so life is good. I'm good. How are you, man?
Tired.
Yeah?
Yeah. Biological clock goes off for fantasy baseball. I got to make some changes. I really do. I got to make changes. I woke up at 4 in the morning.
I was up, too.
Making changes on a fantasy baseball team that it's just ridiculous. Yeah. Mid-March, and I'm worried about this.
We're sickos.
It's not right. I'm happy that I made the move, picking up a reliever for the Dodgers and making moves, and that's fine and everything. And picking up a dude that's going to play in that minor league park down in Florida, probably hit 30 jacks with the humidity there. And so, but yeah, I'm a little sick. Making some changes.
Okay, because I was listening. I
should not be waking up in mid-March at 4 in the morning. That's not cool.
You love it. You love the game. You love the grind. This is what it's all about. You're just a sports sicko like all of us. And I was right there with you in bed watching the game on my phone bright and early this morning. And it's just we got another one tomorrow, so we got a double dip.
Well, here's the funny thing about it is, I brought this to the table last year to you, and I think you were semi-interested in it. It's rare that it wins. Remember the no home run bet that I started doing last year, where you take like 2 or 3 games and you bet that all of them won't have a home run in it, and the odds are just exponentially amazing. Like they pull you in with that dream of, really, I can turn $10 into $2,000 like that. And so we did not have a home run in that game. Mm-hmm. So now you have to lean into probably there will be one in the next one.
It's always tough, too, right out of the gate when you're talking game ones with just how good the pitching is. Mm-hmm. And especially early on where you hear like, hey, the pitching and defense is ahead of the hitters. So maybe betting the unders right now and betting, no dingers is probably the smart thing to do. So, yeah, you got Dodgers and Cubs getting after it. March Madness popping off. So much good stuff happening. And we got some good stuff to hand out on the show today because, again, today we're handing out a $50 gift card to Skyline because Skyline Chili is a great place for lunch or dinner. If you're on the run, you can always pull into the Skyline drive-through, enjoying a couple of cheese conies or a Skyline 3-way always makes the day better. Feeling good, it's Skyline time.
Do you think if I pulled through the drive-thru and just asked for oyster crackers, give me a handful of those?
They'd probably charge you a couple bucks.
I don't even know if that's in the register. I think that'd be a weird ask. I'm not going to do it, but I'm just wondering what your answer would be.
They'd probably look at you the same way the folks at Chipotle look at me when I go through the line and literally just get protein in my bowl. And they're like, this is all you want? Like, I'll go and get
rice,
no nothing, no beans, just protein,
no
fajitas. I'll get fajitas in there. It's a 3-pointer. Is what I've learned at Chipotle. That's what they register that as a 3-pointer. But, yeah, when they're fixing my bowl, they look at me like, is this man okay? Mm-hmm. Like he doesn't want anything else? I'm like, no, just give me the protein. I want to pair it with some veggies, and, that's how I rock. Mm. So, yeah, you go through Skyline and ask for oyster crackers. They'll look at you like maybe you got some boogers coming out of your nose.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. I usually do anyway, so that's not a bad deal. I agree with you on the first 4 tonight. When this first happened, when they expanded the bracket, this was very confusing to me. It was. Wait a minute. These 8 teams are playing for different seeds? Wait a minute. How does that work? Wait a minute. They couldn't get in, but now they're playing to get in. But if they get in, they're not just a 16. They can be an 11.
Yeah, it's odd.
Like, what happened? And then you start doing, automatic qualifiers and some teams that have to get in based on the AQ status. And that's why this is that way, because San Diego State's going to play North Carolina tonight. And I promise you, I'm going to make you a promise. I'm not going to be that guy that if Carolina wins this game, that suddenly the narrative should be, well, see, they deserved it. No. No one said they can't win a game. Mm-hmm. What I was saying yesterday is they didn't deserve the right to win a game.
Ain't good enough.
That's the difference. Any team, it's like, look at college football. Like, any team that may have been outside could get in and maybe win a game.
Yeah.
That's possible. It's whether you deserve the right to be in that game. And I don't think they deserve it. And now they're probably going to win the game. And everyone will say, well, see, they're good enough. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Maybe I'll make that a part of my Bet365 today. Jacket Sweet Night last night was great. A lot of our fine listeners were there with us. Yep. It was one of those games that if you weren't a big hockey fan, you'd say that was really boring. But that ice tilted. The ice tilted in the third period towards the Jackets, and they threw every leper coin they had at Allen. And he came up massive. Mm-hmm. There is something in the NHL called a deserve to win meter. It's the analytics that they do for this. The danger chances the Jackets had and all that game played out to the Jackets had an 85% chance of winning that game after they saw everything that happened in that game. 85%. They had 45 shots on goal. Now, here's the good news. The Jackets went, to my bad math, about 2.5 hours of game time without scoring a goal. Oh, yeah. Let that sink in for a second. I think I'm right about that. Because they scored in the third period against the Devils when they played them last with about 6 and change. Then they went 20-40-60 Vegas, 20-40-60 Rangers, and then about 6-7 minutes to go. Oh, wait a minute. Scored about 10 minutes to go in the game against the Devils, the first one. And then 6. So I'm counting about 2 hours and 24 minutes.
Yeah. Without
scoring a goal? Yeah, so they finally did, and then they threw everything at him. The first period, I mean, I can go through this real quickly in my mind. Fantilli is racing to the net, Matty, with a chance. You kill a penalty against the fourth best power play unit in the NHL and the Devils. Mm-hmm. So you're feeling pretty good there with some momentum. Jet Greaves was very good early. Marchie had a backhand flip on net in the first period that could have scored. I'll give it to the Devils. They're a good team. Timo Meier just steamrolled. And with Fabro literally on his back poke checking him, and he goes 5-hole on Greaves and they score. So I'll give him that one. They got a really weird bounce when that puck's going to rim around the back and Jet's going to play it. And when it comes around, it hits something that kicks it a little more into the ice. So he misplays it. Almost not quite a short hop in baseball, but just a weird hop where it would hit and go another way. And then in a weird way, if he takes the angle of getting back into his net the long way to the left, I think he may create more of a problem for that shot than taking the way he did, which was the instinctual way, which is get back in the net as fast as you can. Mm-hmm. So now you're down 2-0, and it's just a bad bounce. Chinnikov had a chance in front in the third. I think Aston Reese had a great chance on the doorstep. And then Olivier scored to make it 2-1 with about 6 and change. And now all of a sudden it was on. And when I say they threw everything at him they could, they did. And they just couldn't net a puck. I'm not going to make this anything more than it is. I think in other circumstances, I'd be praising this effort. I'm still praising the effort, but we're not in. I think you can find something from this. The problem is they don't play again until Thursday. So I don't know what the mindset is. Maybe the mental edge. I mean, thank goodness they didn't get shut out last night. I mean, because I don't know how, because even if you played really well, let's say they played exactly the way I just said, but they didn't score.
Yeah.
I think you feel almost like you're so snake bit. The fact they did net a puck last night, as weird as that sounds, takes a little bit of the mental edge away.
Maybe it can wake them up a little bit.
Just
in
a
the way
little.
we talk about, in basketball where a good shooter goes into a slump and then they get to the free throw line and they see one go through and that can open things up for them. Hopefully that's the case. Look, they did wake up a little bit there in the third period, as you mentioned, with the effort and the pucks that they were throwing at New Jersey. But big picture is losers of 6 of their last 7. Slipping and sliding in the wrong way. Something that we've been talking about at length, unfortunately, is the lack of juice on the power play. 7 straight games without a power play goal. 0-17 over those games. And you need your big dogs to step up in times like this to pull you out of these holes. And right now, Marchenko is just in a bit of a slump here, right? When you're talking about 3 straight games without a goal or a point, only 1 goal over his last 8 games. He's been tremendous all year, but he's got to get back on track because he's one of those guys that we know can light up the net and put the biscuit in there, as you like to say, AR. So for me, it kind of feels like when Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards was getting buried. Remember all the bodies were piling up on Jon Snow? He wasn't completely dead, but it didn't look good until Sansa and Littlefinger came in with the Knights of the Vale. So the Jackets need something that's going to pull them out of this pile of bodies that's starting to stack up in this wild card race, because you look up and it's Detroit and it's Montreal and it's the Rangers and it's Ottawa, and they were right there in that 1 and 2 slot of the wild card not too long ago. So Coach Dean, I know after the game, said he felt a good vibe as to what they did later in the game. And for our sakes and their sakes, these guys can build off of that and get this thing back on track, because it's getting a little spooky right now. AR.
Yeah, they're going to need to. Like I said, they played a great game last night. They lost. That's it. They need results now. That's the bottom line. But they needed something to break the mental block, and maybe last night did it. I kind of wish they were playing like tomorrow, not Thursday, but I just think they'll go after this week with a little different attitude. The fact that they finally ended that, what I said, 2.5 hour streak of not scoring a goal. So here, and they were on fire before that. Like they were scoring.
Yeah, they were.
They were just killing it, especially on home ice. So they'll get Florida coming in on Thursday. We'll come back. We got a nice show for you today. We'll check in on the brackets with our friend from Heat Check, Brian Rauf. We will have Jay Morrison down in the Queen City, get his feeling on the Bengals and the moves they still need to make. And then we're going to do a very special little Hall of Famer, little gold jacket for you, because the former Raider tight end, Dave Casper, who was involved in some legendary plays in the late 70s, will jump on. The Pro Football Hall of Fame does this on occasion, Maddie, where they do the team exhibits. I think they'll do one for Ohio State players that are in there later this year. They're doing one for Notre Dame now through the end of April, because there are 14 dudes that wore the Golden Dome that are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So the Ghost will come on at 2:30 today. We'll come back with the Buckeyes, and we'll talk spring football. How real is a repeat? We'll examine it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
They say great customer service is a thing of the past, but not at Newman Roofing. Quality products, expert installers, and a team you can trust is the core foundation at Newman Roofing. Call 614-NEW-ROOF today to have your roofing, siding, or gutters replaced this spring, or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Every great team needs a playmaker, a secret weapon, an MVP, like Caster Connection. Our industrial casters and wheels give your business the ultimate assist, improving mobility, efficiency, and safety. Whether you're moving carts, racks, or heavy equipment, we set you up for the win. Don't get benched by bad wheels. Go to casterconnection.com to shop online or to work with our industry-leading caster solution specialists. Caster Connection keeps your business in motion.
Basketball from noon to midnight. Scotty Vegas here, and we're throwing a Vegas-style basketball party at Hollywood Casino at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. I even went out to Vegas to scout out how to throw this party. Tough assignment. The Fan is doing 24 hours of watch parties. The opening weekend of the tournament, there'll be custom T-shirts, Pop-A-Shot, Horse games. Oh, and don't miss a game with a 50-foot video wall. Reserve your spot at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm the common man. Bob, is there something you want to tell us?
I want to talk to you about the spring bridal sale. It's going on now at Worthington Jewelers. Buy one, get one 50% off. The best prices of the year on natural and lab-grown diamonds. I got to tell you, I'm busy. I'm busy running a valuable store. My wife and dog are in the place all the time.
And I'm not busy at all. I'm just sitting here doing 3 hours of fart jokes.
Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could dump all your problems on someone else's back? Well, when you wake up to a clogged drain or a plumbing issue, make that Mr. Rooter's problem.
Call 855-MISTERS today or MrRooter.com.
Call Mr. Rooter, he'll be there quick.
Beds are us when dreams sunk in. Beds are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
Beds are us when dreams sunk in. Beds are us.
Now at participating locations, it's UDF's new Sicilian-style pizza. We serve it on our family recipe focaccia crust, handcrafted in our bakery. And right now, get any size Coca-Cola fountain drink free with your purchase. Pizza from United Dairy Farmers, made for you.
Fish has been named the third best sports program director in the country. The two dudes who finished ahead of him are dead. So we're declaring him the winner. You're listening to the home of champions, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton.
ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNRadio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A lot of sunshine out there today, high 69. Increasing clouds tonight with a low of 50. Sunshine tomorrow with afternoon clouds, high 72. First day of spring will be Thursday. It won't feel like spring, though, as we're going to be looking at some rain showers, along with the possibility of some snow mixing in, highs only in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
A perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, we'll get after little Ohio State football right now. Spring game, all that stuff. Spring showcase on the way, not a spring game. But they are the champs. And it's weird to think about a repeat. We were just at a spot where think about the roller coaster they were on after the Michigan loss. Think about that Sunday and Monday. And now we're talking about a team that, and I haven't looked at the odds lately, but I would think they're got to be in the top three,
no doubt,
of teams that can repeat. And the whole difference now, and we all know this, is that Ohio State should always, and I mean always, have enough talent to be in that tournament. And they've just proven that they can come from the back of the field or wherever they are and win it with the right mindset, the right attitude, the right coaching, the right situations, the health. Mm-hmm. Everything has to come into play. Don't get me wrong. And I've always said this team, not every Ohio State team could have done what this team did. And I don't mean that from a talent standpoint. I mean that from a mindset standpoint because of the only thing they had left to do. And so it took very special players and a coaching staff to keep them together. and light a fuse under them that maybe was kind of there and wasn't extinguished. I always said after the Michigan game, this team isn't broken. It was a vacuum game that self-admittedly they got caught playing in, and Michigan made enough plays to win a very low-scoring, grindy game. But I don't know if every team, if you can keep, Maddie, the mindset of every team together as an 8 seed and do what they did.
Yeah, it was a one-on-one type of team when you talk about, from the neck up type of stuff, because the leadership was all over, that roster in different rooms. It wasn't just, hey, it was Will and he was the one leader. No, there were so many guys that could step up and be a voice or lead by example. And last year's team had a great combination of both. And the beauty of it, too, was you had leadership show up in different ages as well. It wasn't just the vets. It was some of the young guys that did it by their play with Jeremiah and how elite he was and how consistent he was. Caleb Downs on the defensive side of the ball doing the same thing. But I think you're right to identify that, because if you had a young team that was really talented, that hadn't been through some things, whether it was here or elsewhere at Kansas State or wherever those guys came from, I don't know if, they could lock back in the way that they did. And not only was it the players, from what we heard from the likes of Jack Sawyer in that Players Tribune article, it was Coach Day as well, taking some ownership. So everybody locked back in, got back in the lab, but the players have to do it at the end of the day. And that's going to be the beauty of watching this year's team, is so many new faces on both sides of the ball. Where's the leadership going to come from? Because you're going to go through some things. You're going to go through some tough times. And last year's team had the fortune of not having to deal with injuries as well. Not too many injuries, right? The offensive line stuff was big down the stretch, but the main characters were on stage a lot last year for Ohio State. So if that doesn't go their way, it comes back to the things that we talked about all year, and Coach Day and a lot of coaches talked about, is developing depth along the way because of the grind that is this college football playoff and how many games you got to play to be that last team standing like they just did.
Yeah, I think there was, rightfully so. I think that people thought that they had a big game problem, certainly with Michigan, right? And that would spill over, unfortunately, into the playoff. The good news was they had 3 weeks, and it was the perfect time. It was enough to keep the anger boiling and not losing the attachment of that emotion, and then not too long where it would play out where they couldn't kind of flip the switch. You're losing your backfield, your running backfield. You're losing your experienced quarterback. You're losing Donovan Jackson, a big part of what made that offensive line go.
Incredible stuff from him.
You're losing Cody Simon and the experience he had. You're losing Ransom. You're losing Sawyer and JT. And it's just, so when you think about all those names I just mentioned, that's the reason they were able to sustain. Somebody told me the other day, I can't remember who, that, after the Michigan game, that it went from horrible disappointment to anger. And a lot of people are pointing to the actual flag planting as being a good thing. The way that Sawyer actually responded to that, the way that happened. Now, at the time, it just felt like, how should I say this? Like useless emotion. It felt like the game's over. Like it felt useless at the time. But, now it feels like that maybe that kept that pot boiling enough for them. But here they are, and I just looked at the odds. They are the favorite. They're the favorite to repeat. They're 5-1, and the team right behind them at 6-1 on Bet365 is the team they play in the opener in Texas. Baby. Now, if this was a BCS era or a Final Four era, can you imagine the pressure on that opener?
Yeah.
If this was the loser's really going to have trouble?
Yeah. There's no doubt a decent amount of pressure, but it's nowhere near where it would have been in the past, right? Because if you drop this one, you still got some wiggle room, but it squeezes things. But you want that data point, obviously, between these two teams, and I can't wait to see them get busy. We know what they're coming out of the tunnel with, that being Texas at the quarterback position right now for Ohio State. We think we know. But Coach Day is going to make those guys earn it, and I can't wait to see how that develops throughout the coming days and weeks, and just seeing and hearing some things coming out of the Woody is how the quarterback position looks, because that's going to be the key to getting them right back on track. If they have a guy that can hit the ground running and have this offense fly high the way it's been flying high.
All right, this is a pretty decent-sized soundbite, but it's worth playing because you mentioned the quarterbacks, and all three of these guys are supposedly going to get a chance to compete for this thing. We know the five-star recruit, and certainly in Tavian St. Clair, and then you have Julian Sand, who, is, I would say, kind of is it his job to lose? Let's hear from the coach on it.
It's just understanding that the process is going to be a battle, but you have to make sure when you walk in that building every day that you're prepared. You also have to throw it out there and make sure that you understand you're going to fail, but that you have to learn quickly. And if you're continually making the same mistakes over and over again, it's going to take longer to get to where you want to be and win the job. And then as we start getting closer to, we talk about the preseason, where I got to take care of the football, I got to do really well on third down, I got to win in the red zone. And then everybody's different. Every quarterback's different. Will was a lot different than CJ. CJ was a lot different than Dwayne. Dwayne was different than Justin. Everyone's different. And so these quarterbacks are different as well. Different size, different makeup, different skill sets. So the number one job, though, for the quarterback is to be the hardest working guy in the building. There shouldn't be any question. If someone says, who's the hardest working guy, it should be the quarterback. If it's somebody else, that's a problem. Because they should be the first one in the building and the last one to leave. And then they have to be tough. If it's 4th and 2 against Texas, we got to find a way to get 3 yards. That's the bottom line. And those guys understand that. They know it. Mick reinforces it in the weight room daily. But those are some of the things that we talk about at quarterback.
Guess who set that example?
Will Howard. Because Will was about that action, boss.
And he was the guy that they went after to get, even with Kyle McCord having moments and being seasoned enough where they felt like they could have poured more investment into McCord. They could have.
Yeah.
But there was that part that he just talked about was that, I think, to my opinion, the last little missing piece that they felt they needed with this team to get them over the top.
Will made it known publicly time and time again. Hey, if my number's called, I'm all in. I'm all in, and I'm not running away from physicality as a quarterback. And we talk about culture all the time in sports. That's one thing that can be not only a, general thing across the whole building, but in individual position groups. That can be something that's handed down year after year. So Julian, Lincoln, all those guys that were around Will last year that not only heard him say those things, but followed up his words with actions and did anything for the team, I guarantee you those guys grabbed a hold of some of that mentality, and we'll see that from some of them this year.
All right, we're going to help you fill out your bracket a little bit with a couple of sleepers and who to trust and how wide open the field really is when the senior national writer from Heat Check CBB comes on the show next. That will be Brian Rauf. 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-452-6262. That's 800-452-6262. Again, that's 800-452-6262.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts. Rub it together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
They're LIV golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, everybody's got a clean bracket right now. Just wait. It'll be bleeding soon enough. Brian Rauf with us, senior national writer, Heat Check, covering college basketball. Brian, good to have you, man. We need your help.
Thanks for having me on. Everyone's brackets are going to say perfect throughout the entirety of this thing. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Everything's always perfect.
That's right. Yeah, there's always a perfect bracket, is there? All these companies are dumb. They're offering, all that money for the perfect bracket, and my brain's not big enough to calculate those odds. But I look at these things like you do. We watch a lot of college basketball. I think that's why we do so horribly, because it's harder for me to really wrap my mind around an upset where if somebody doesn't watch a lot of basketball, they think, well, okay, that could happen. And they don't put a lot of time into it, and that usually works. But I do want to ask you about these 4 number ones. And it looks like Duke, outside of the Cooper Flag stuff, and I want to understand how you analyze Duke now moving forward, because we're not doctors. We're not I don't have any inside slant on this thing. But is your understanding that he is going to be a part of this run for Duke?
Yeah, that's my understanding. My understanding is he probably could have played in the ACC tournament, particularly in the championship game, if they really wanted him to. But they didn't, so they didn't want to risk him injuring it further. It was basically just a badly sprained ankle, and so they wanted to give him some rest. He's going to play. It seems like he's going to play in the opener for Duke on Friday in that 116 matchup, depending on who wins that play in the game. He may be on a limits restriction. They also probably don't need him that much, and so that game could be like a good tune-up for him. But I fully expect him to be 100% or close to it throughout the entirety of however long Duke's run is.
So it seems like out there on the college basketball streets right now, a lot of people are very high on the Florida Gators. Are you one of those people that thinks that they can go all the way and get it done?
Yes, I am. I kind of called that shot back at the beginning of February, where I was like, this Florida team doesn't seem to have any holes. Like, they might be able to go and do this. And then after that, all they've done is beaten every other good team in the SEC, and not just beaten them, like, dominated them and controlled the game, oftentimes on the road, which we haven't really seen teams do. I think they have the best trio of guards in the country, Will Richard, Elijah Martin, and Walter Clayton Jr. Their front court, they have a 4-man rotation of guys who are 6'10" to 7 feet, who are all phenomenal, can all shoot the three, really good two-way players. Alex Condon leads that group. I'm knocking on wood as I say this, but there aren't any real obvious flaws with this team.
Are you more of a back the teams that I love guy, or I don't like their path guy, so I can't take them? Or do you lean more into the bracket and how it lays out, or if you love a team, it doesn't matter the matchups to you as much?
There's a threshold, certainly, but if I really love a team, the matchups don't matter as much, because to me, like, if you played that team in the Sweet 16 or the Final Four, if I believe in you to win a national championship and that you're that good, you're going to have to beat them anyway, right? Now, there are some teams that I expected to go further in my bracket that did not when I actually filled it out because of the path, and some teams like Kentucky, I have Kentucky in the Sweet 16, did not expect that at all. But I think the path lays out pretty well for them. So it just kind of depends.
Which Big Ten team do you like most right now? We talked yesterday about the job Izzo did with that team and how they were perceived coming into the year. But looking at the teams that are in the dance right now from the Big Ten, who you rocking with most?
Michigan State. Michigan State, very much so. To me, this has the same feel of the 2009 Michigan State team or the 2019 Michigan State team, if you can imagine swapping Jace Richardson for Cassius Winston. They do so many little things well. They're really, really good at rebounding. The 4 guards with Richardson in the starting lineup are all capable of hitting big shots and have throughout the course of the season. They play really solid defense. It's your classic, like, Tom Izzo team where they don't overwhelm you with talent, but there's enough there. And they do everything, quote unquote, the right way and win at the margins. And that tends to take them pretty far in March, and I think it will again this year.
But short of a Final Four?
I think they made the Final Four.
Michigan State?
Yes.
Oh, so that kind of leads me to this question. Is this because you don't trust Auburn now?
It's not that I don't trust Auburn. I think Auburn has shown some cracks. right? They've lost through their last 4 games. They've been out-rebounded in all 3 of those games that they've lost. And that it goes back to the Duke loss earlier in the season. That was about even on the glass. And then the first loss of the season, they were or the first conference loss, they were out-rebounded in that game as well against Florida. Michigan State's one of the best rebounding teams in the country. And so you throw that into the mix combined with just a steady play of the Spartans. Like, I think that's a bad matchup, honestly, for Auburn. And, there's a chance they meet Texas A&M in the Sweet 16, Auburn may. Mm-hmm. If they do that, A&M just beat them pretty soundly because of the way they out-rebounded Auburn. I could see that happening again, potentially, if that matchup comes up. I didn't pick that because I don't think A&M has the shooting to beat Auburn twice in a row. But I do think if Auburn falls short, the rebounding is going to be a reason why.
We're all on the hunt to find Cinderella. Who's a team for you that, maybe out of sight, out of mind for a lot of people throughout the year? They didn't pay attention to them because they only watched their conference or whatever it may be. And you look at them now and their path to maybe making some noise. Is there a Cinderella team that you have and you have your eye on right now?
There are a couple. The lowest seed I have making the longest run, if you can call it that, is BYU. I have them in the Elite Eight as a 6th seed with the way that they've been playing. But a double-digit seed that could really make some noise and I think has a pretty good path is High Point. That first-round matchup with Purdue, I think, sets up perfectly for them. They have a top 25 offense. The defense has kind of been lacking, but they have a 2-time conference defensive player of the year in the middle. His name is Joslin Bodo. He's a 7-footer who is one of the best rebounders in the country. He's top 10 in both offensive and defensive rebounding. He's one of the best shot blockers in the country who helps fix a lot of those defensive issues that they have. They got guys who can shoot from 3, guys who can get to the paint, very athletic and versatile around him in the middle. And then particularly that first-round matchup against Purdue works out well. I could see them making the second weekend.
So the other team that we haven't talked about yet, and I'll ask you about them because they seem so complete to me, but it's not like the SEC Magic and all the teams they have. It's this Houston team. And while they did lose to Auburn earlier in the year and they did lose to Bama in overtime, like they have been just killing it lately, and their schedule was pretty decent down the stretch. Are you backing Houston to go to the Final Four?
Houston is the one team that I think has the right to be upset about their draw because I have them losing second round to Gonzaga. But I think that is whoever wins that game has a good chance to make the Final Four. The difference for Houston is going to be the play of Milos Uzan, who's their point guard who transferred in from Oklahoma. The first half of the year, when Houston looked vulnerable, they had those losses and some closer games against competition who wasn't necessarily on their level. He was playing like he was at Oklahoma, where he was more of a role player than a star. The last month or two of the season, he's been lights out, and he has become their go-to offensive guy and their player who can make something happen out of structure and create for himself off the bounce. And that's where you're seeing Houston really take off.
Okay.
If he has an off game, I think Houston is vulnerable, particularly with the pass that they have. But if he's on his game, he's going to win like most outstanding player of everything.
All right. Well, let me do a little math on it, Maddie, on the entire conversation we've just had. I'll guess your Final Four then. You've already given us a little bit of hint. So I'm assuming you have Michigan State versus Florida and Tennessee versus Duke?
You are correct.
Okay. And then who wins it all?
I have Florida beating Duke. I think that game is probably a coin flip, but Florida's really been a buzzsaw all season long.
Yeah. Good call, man. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. We'll see how wide open it gets. We'll see how many upsets we get. And we'll be watching those High Point Panthers. There's your sleeper for you. Thanks a lot, Brian. Great stuff.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Brian Rauf, Heat Check, covering college basketball. All right. If you're not feeling as energized for March Madness as you should, it may be low testosterone if you're feeling that tired and lacking motivation. And it's not because you're getting up at 4 a.m. to check fantasy baseball. It's because you know something's not right if you're a guy. And Low T Center is going to make it very easy to get your levels checked. Simple test, on-site lab results spit right back to you there on the spot. And it's not a typical doctor's office because their physicians specialize specifically in treating low T with testosterone replacement therapy or TRT for every patient. They have more than a decade of experience helping patients. They will personalize a treatment plan for you if you need it, not just a basic standard treatment. Talk to somebody that's been there. Go for a current patient. Low T Center offers $150 referral credit for every new patient that a current patient refers. But it's about time you get your levels checked. I've talked about it for years because there's power in the numbers. Find out if this is the reason that you're not feeling your best and get back to feeling your best. LowTCenter.com is the place. Go online right now to schedule that appointment for that blood test. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Maddie, for a brief moment there, and I'm not sure about this, but I maybe read a little bit of body language.
Okay.
I do believe there's a chance that his exact Final Four may be one that CB didn't want out in the atmosphere because I think it might resemble his. And I think he's now thinking that the answers to the test are now floating out there.
Okay.
He didn't say a thing. All I had to do is kind of out of one eye.
Getting a little smirk from the kid over there right now.
No, Brian's really great at his job, and I enjoy all of his work. And I think he's a little audacious on some of the upsets, but yes, the Final Four's exact.
A lot of brackets are going to have Florida going very far. I know when I do mine, I'll probably have the same, but they're the hot team right now, especially with the uncertainty for now with what Cooper Flag's going to look like in the immediate output of the tournament or whatever. But those Gators, man, they got a lot of people warming up to them. That's for sure.
CB, can you be audacious and bodacious
I knew you were
at the same time?
Probably.
Maybe we get him a shirt that says audacious on the front and bodacious on the back. Party like a RothStar. Next, Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Every great team needs a playmaker, a secret weapon, an MVP, like Caster Connection. Our industrial casters and wheels give your business the ultimate assist, improving mobility, efficiency, and safety. Whether you're moving carts, racks, or heavy equipment, we set you up for the win. Don't get benched by bad wheels. Go to casterconnection.com to shop online or to work with our industry-leading caster solution specialists. Caster Connection keeps your business in motion.
Montana, Bettis, Horning, and Brown, some of the greatest of all time, kicked off their careers in South Bend. You can celebrate Notre Dame football's impact on the professional game by visiting the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton to experience gold helmet to gold jacket March 14th through April 27th. And register to win our grand prize at 971thefan.com/goldjacket. One winner will receive 2 tickets to the Hall of Fame game, enshrinement ceremony, and the Hall of Fame Museum. That's 971thefan.com/goldjacket.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to Metal Supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222. Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
There's a new way to surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and Market District. Shop Giant Eagle's uncompromising quality at a reliable price with everyday savings. Look for signs throughout the store to find bargains on produce, meat, and more. Visit Giant Eagle to see how easy it is to save.
The best matchup is you in a new Kia from Coughlin Kia. Get into a new Kia now with $0 down. Get 0% financing on select new Kias and make 0 payments for 3 months on any new Kia in stock. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
0% for 72 equals $13.89 per 1,000 financed on Nero EV, EV6, and EV9 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 90 days deferred payments until June 2025. Qualified manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. No security deposit. Residency restrictions may apply. Offers cannot be combined. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/25.
Hi, are you lazy? Me too. But even the laziest of us still need to leave the house. So throw your pants on and follow all the tournament action with the Fan at ESPN Columbus.
He's not wearing any pants.
I'm not wearing any pants. The Fan.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Good questions. Try this on for size. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime, forcing, playoffs on the line, golf. With 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour. Split into 6 teams. Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, and the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. Tune in every week for TGL matches, only on ESPN. Keep up. It's golf.
Empower. Nick bought a new guitar, a 62 American Classic Electric. Does he know how to play? No. But Nick's Empower investment account has performed well. He got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risks. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is a really good guitar solo.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Let's all gather into the Kiki. It's time to party like a RothStar.
Indeed. Did last night at the CBJ. Yada. I'm a little tired today.
The Jets pizza.
I was doing my best Zach Wierenski impersonation to you last night. Go Jackets. And holding up that piece of Jets.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I destroyed a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
There was a destruction up there.
It's there for the taking, man. Looked like everybody was eating good.
They really were. All right. You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I will go with, this is a pretty good story. And it's not one of the dudes that played in the playoff of the TPC. It's not Rory or J.J. Spahn. So this kid's out of Virginia, and his name is Danny Walker. And about an hour and a half before they teed off on Thursday, Jason Day withdrew from the tournament. And if he would have started the tournament and then withdrew partway through, then nobody else would have been able to replace him. But since he did a great thing and gave a heads up to Danny Walker, who is the on-site alternate. If somebody withdraws, you come to the tournament and you get to go. And as the story goes, Danny Walker, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm believing that he was on the toilet. Like literally in the locker room on the toilet. And the phone rings and he takes the call. Now, Danny Walker was on Korn Ferry last year. He kind of lives locally there in Florida. Always dreamed of playing in that tournament and not having to pay the $700 plus that a normal guy would have to pay. He returned his car to give himself kind of a moment once he got that call. So I guess he went to his car and started like shedding a tear and everything. And this is a kid, Maddie, who's out of Virginia, pretty good college golfer, picked up a local job at, you ever hear of Bahama Breeze?
I have.
It's like a Caribbean restaurant chain.
I have heard of that.
All right. So he's working at Bahama Breeze.
Okay. Get some of that jerk chicken.
Get a little extra cash.
Yeah.
And it's an unbelievable path. I'll cut to the chase. He gets in the tournament, and he shoots 73-70, 73 day one, 70 day two, makes the cut on the number. Okay. Then rolls out a 66 on Saturday, and then a 70 on Sunday to finish tied for 6th as an alternate. He walked away with almost $900,000. This is like some dude this is like a loose cannon in a poker tournament against pros, just taking them all down.
Mm-hmm.
And dude walks out with $900,000. And not even a year and a half ago, he said he did not have a lot of money in the bank. And this is a pretty big change. That's a win in any definition of a win, tying for 6th.
Yeah, I like it. It's good stuff right there. First candidate for me. We're going down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Baton Rouge?
Yeah, there you go. Because you know who's partying like a RothStar? It is the head coach of the LSU Tigers, Brian Kelly. Why? Because of what just happened this weekend. When you look around the landscape of the NFL and you look at some of the contracts that have been handed out specifically to guys that were a part of that 2019 LSU team that won a national championship, Brian Kelly needs to hang this banner all over the facility and take it to every recruiting visit he goes on. Because Joey B, 5 years, $275 million, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL when he signed. Justin Jefferson, 4 years, $140, highest paid wide receiver when he signed. You get where this is going, folks. Jamar Chase, as we know, just re-upped, 4 years, $161. Derek Stingley, cornerback for the Houston Texans this weekend, if you missed it, signed a 3-year, $90 million contract. That team was absolutely loaded, but if you're Brian Kelly, this is part of the recruiting pitch. I think you'd be a fool not to use this. You come to LSU, there's a high chance that you're going to the league, and there's a good chance that you're going to get paid elite money. So he probably sat back this weekend after Jamar got his deal and Derek Stingley got his deal, and he's been partying like a RothStar the last couple of days. Brian Kelly, I see you, big dog. You got to use it. You got to use it.
Use it or lose it. All right, I'm going to go to the hard courts here, and CB probably knows about this guy. He's out of Liberty Township. He helped the Lakota East Thunder Hawks to back-to-back Greater Miami Conference Championships. Last week, though, he was named the MAC Player of the Year. He had 31 and 22 in a couple games, hit the game-winning shot for Akron against Miami that lifted the Zips to the auto bid. He's caught some fire here. 18 for his last 29 from the field. And now the 13th seeded Zips take on Arizona in a first-round matchup Friday in Seattle. Tip-off approximately, I see here, 7:35. So let me give it to old Nate Dogg Johnson, who's the MAC Player of the Year, who has them in the tourney taking on the Wildcats of Arizona.
Okay.
Akron kind of carrying the Ohio flag a little bit here.
Second candidate for me. You know, we're big fans of the movie Coming to America on this show, specifically one character, Randy Watson. You know who I'm a big fan of? Juju Watkins, because this lady is just an absolute bucket. Second in the country in points per game, 25 a night, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Look, I know they lost in the Big Ten tourney final. I get it. They lost to UCLA, but night in and night out, she is just an absolute dog out there on the court. Her last 4 games going into March Madness, 30 points. 31 points to go with 10 rebounds, 20 points to go with 11 rebounds, and in the Big Ten championship game, 29 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 4 steals. She is living up to the hype. She got all the keys handed to her from Caitlin Clark to be the face of the sport. She's on, I think State Farm commercials. She's all over the place, and she's been balling out all season long. Juju Watkins for the USC Trojans, partying like a RothStar.
All right, I'll combo platter up my last one. Ovechkin, I think, got 887 over the weekend, so he's 8 away from breaking Gretzky's all-time regular season goal record. So he hasn't gone more than 3 games this season without scoring a goal. He's had a 3-game drought twice, but the first one was earlier in the year, and then the other one was early January. He's scored, I think, twice in his last 4 games, 8 times in his last 11. He's got 15 games left. He's on pace to set the career goals record. Guess where? I told you this about a month ago, in Columbus on April 12th. If he doesn't do it then, he'll face the Jackets again the next day in Washington. As I've recently brought to light, also, he scored, I think, his very first NHL goal of his career against the Jackets. The bookend may be coming. He's got 3 home games this week, so maybe he'll just catch fire and do it early. But Alex O. And then Rory McIlroy took the heckler's phone early in the week. I put him in the pressure cooker on Friday,
yeah, man.
And he goes on to win the tournament in a playoff, 4.5 mil, which puts him, I think, over the 100 mil mark. So the 100 mil club on tour, probably joining Tiger. He didn't need Liv, and I love him for it. And he did everything that he needed to do this week, and he walks home with 4.5 mil.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's right.
Yeah,
they all
is.
want back now. Not all of them. Is that it? Party like RothStar. Okay, in the books for this week. We come back, top of the hour, SportsCenter update, and the M in Mel stands for mock, and it looks like maybe one of the most versatile players is not going where we think he will go. We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Bobby Carpenter doesn't have a mullet, but he's knee-deep in mullet energy. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan.
Getting cold feet? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Bo Bishop here. High Bank Distillery Co. is the most awarded distillery in America at the 2024 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Stop by your local liquor store to grab a bottle, or the 3 restaurant locations in Gahanna, Grandview, or Westerville. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
March is on at Lindsay Honda.
Shoot your shot and save.
It's madness. You get to choose your finance rate on over 600 new Lindsay Hondas. 0%, 1.9, 2.9, and up to a full 60 months long. And no trade-in required. This deal works with 0 down. March is on at Lindsay Honda. Save with rates as low as 0% at lindsayhonda.com.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
See lindsayhonda.com for details.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay minus 108 than minus 110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sports book. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts. Rub it together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
Open a money market account at Kemba Financial Credit Union and enjoy 4.40% APY intro rate until 2026. That's 6 times the national average. Get the flexibility you need with easy access to your funds. Don't miss out. Offer expires April 30th, 2025. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Advantage status and $5,000 minimum and $1 million maximum deposit required. APY equals annual percentage yield. Comparison based on FDIC average. Federally insured by NCUA.
Montana, Bettis, Horning, and Brown, some of the greatest of all time, kicked off their careers in South Bend. You can celebrate Notre Dame football's impact on the professional game by visiting the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton to experience gold helmet to gold jacket March 14th through April 27th. And register to win our grand prize at 971thefan.com/gold jacket. One winner will receive 2 tickets to the Hall of Fame game, enshrinement ceremony, and the Hall of Fame Museum. That's 971thefan.com/gold jacket.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Top of the afternoon to you. I'm Cole Bartimas. This Jacket skid just keeps getting worse and worse. The Devils came into town and left with a 2-1 victory over the CBJ. The Jackets outshot the Devils 46-20, but Jake Allen was a brick wall apparently. They weren't even able to get their lone goal until midway through the third period. The standings look a lot different than they did a couple weeks ago. The Jackets are a couple spots out of the wild card right now, although they are still only 2 points out, so as bad as this stretch has been, there's still a lot to play for in these final 15 games. But the schedule isn't getting any easier as the Florida Panthers will visit Nationwide on Thursday evening. And the Major League Baseball regular season began in Tokyo this morning. Get used to hearing this. The Dodgers won. They beat the Cubs 4-1. They go again tomorrow at 6:10 in the morning. This update is brought to you by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or you can check him out online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
This is Rothman and Ice, the #1 rated midday show in Columbus.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, back at it, second hour. Jay Morrison, Bengals beat writer, BengalsTalk.com. 1:30, we get to examine whether this team, while they put together the three amigos, on whether this O-line with, not that, listen, Kappa being gone might be good, but as bad as it seemed, I don't know. Trey Hendrickson, will he get signed? Will he take the discount that T. Higgins got or took? A little bit of a discount there. Whether or not the run stoppers they keep trying to plug the run game with are going to be good enough, whether they got enough guys to get after the passer. We got a lot to talk to him about. Yeah, we got a lot to do with him.
Looking forward to that. And we'll get Jay right before I'm sure he heads to the presser that's happening down there because it looks like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins have a presser scheduled for 2 o'clock today. So it'll be very interesting to see what they have to say. I'm sure those guys will be in great moods based off of the money that they just got. We're trying to put you in a good mood right now, especially if you like Skyline Chili, because we're going to hand out a $50 gift card right now. 614-821-9710 is our phone number. CB's hotline number. Let me get that right. Earlier, we were talking to Brian Rauf, who does a great job covering college basketball over at Heat Check, senior national writer for them. I asked him, who's a sleeper you like? Who's the Cinderella that could be shaking the room this year? Who was that team for him? 614-821-9710 is CB's hotline number. You get it right, you'll get a $50 gift card to Skyline Chili, baby.
I'll give you a hint. If you don't know, it's probably the weirdest name you could have in the tournament. Or just a name that doesn't really strike like school, university. Like it's got one of those kinds of names.
Okay.
Probably a bad hint, now that I think about it, because there are other ones in there that have as weird.
If it hits you that way, or hits you that way.
Actually, it is. It's a mild hint because it's not a normal like what you would know or think of.
I got you.
There's your okay.
Not a bad hint.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Hopefully somebody gets it.
It was pretty bad. All right, so I was looking at this thing with our boy Mel Kiper. NFL draft a little over a month away. First round begins April 24th. Intrigue continues to swirl around several teams. The Travis Hunter and the latest Patriots mock draft. Did you see that?
I did see that. And what I wanted to run by you is that Uncle Mel for ESPN and Daniel Jeremiah, who works for the NFL Network and does an amazing job covering the draft. Like if you watch the NFL Network, their coverage, it's he and Rich Eyes, and those guys are going at it. Daniel's an absolute stud when it comes to covering all this stuff. AR, you mentioned Travis Hunter. These two guys and Dane Brugler, to me, are the headliners when it comes to draft season. But specifically today, Daniel and Mel put out their most recent mocks. They have identical top fours in their latest mock drafts. That includes the guys that you mentioned.
If the teams stay where they are.
If they stay where
Tennessee, Cleveland, New York Giants, New England Patriots,
yes,
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Their top 5. Let me see if they have where they go separate ways is when they get to that 5 hole with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. But top 4, their mocks are mirroring each other, player for player, pick for pick, right now.
Player to player?
Player from the Himalayas.
You know the next phrase. It's from training day. Player to player. How about Cam Ward, number 1?
To the Tennessee Titans, yes.
Cleveland stays and makes the pick.
Mm-hmm. Sticking and picking.
I haven't seen this.
Really?
I don't really know.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing. Cleveland stays and makes the pick. Cam is off the board. I bet they take Carter.
They both have Abdul Carter going 2. Here's what Daniel Jeremiah said in his little snippet under the Browns. The Browns could be weighing taking Carter second and a quarterback in round 2 versus picking Shador at number 2 and waiting on an edge rusher until the second round. I think you can make a strong argument that taking Carter and waiting for a second-tier quarterback in round 2 is the better option. That's Jeremiah's explanation. Mel Kiper says, this is close, really close. Travis Hunter would be an outstanding fit here, regardless of whether the Browns use him on offense or defense. I see the vision there. Look, if Abdul is going to be a talented pass rusher, which everybody thinks he will be, pairing him with a Hall of Famer in Myles Garrett is going to wreck games and help the back end of your defense and just speed up the process. And you think about also what you have to deal with within this division at quarterback and playmakers. Lamar, Joe Burrow, 2 of the best in the sport right now. Getting that duo together, I completely understand if Cleveland goes down that path. Between Carter and Hunter is the sexier pick with what he can do on both sides of the ball. But the Philadelphia Eagles just showed us, and football has shown us for years, the game's won down there in the trenches with the big boys. And so Abdul Carter and Myles Garrett will be dangerous, and those dudes will be cooking.
Listen, it's odd. It's odd because we know what their biggest problem is. Their biggest problem is digging themselves out of a quarterback hole that they put themselves in, and you can do that with a rookie because of the rookie contract, if he's good enough. And so that's the real problem they have. I just feel like Abdul would help them do more. It's just a safer floor. That's all it is. It's just,
Travis?
No, not necessarily Travis. I was saying Shador. And I do think then the Giants would probably swoop in at 3 and take him.
They both have him going 3. So all that stuff that's out there right now that Shador may be slipping and sliding, they don't believe that because both Daniel Jeremiah and Mel Kiper have Shador Sanders going 3rd to the New York Giants.
And, Maddie, I don't even think it matters if Aaron Rodgers comes out of the dark or Russell Wilson says, I'll play for $35 million. Like even if they take one of those guys, I don't know if that would preclude them from taking Shador.
What I would love to ask both Mel and Daniel right now is if they do believe the Browns should go down this path of either Abdul or Travis Hunter at 2, and they come back around in round 2. They're picking 33rd right there in the second round. Which quarterback they like there for them to roll with? Obviously can't ask them now, but I think that's interesting. CB, what do you think of that as a Browns fan, grabbing Abdul or Travis and then getting a quarterback at 33?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know who's going to be there that really interests me. It sounds like Milroe is more of a round 3 type of guy, which I would take a shot on him in the 3rd round, absolutely. But yeah, that 2nd round pick, I don't know if there's going to be a guy there that I fall in love with. I thought it would be Jaxon Dart at one point, but apparently he has moved all the way up everyone's boards.
Yeah, he's rising up, man.
The only thing that I would, so let's play this out. We've just played it out as Cam, Abdul, and Shador, just for this little exercise here. And then we bring New England in, and he's talking about Travis Hunter. The question I have is, would Vrabel lean more, would his influence lean more defense there and take like Mason Graham or somebody that where he builds up his trenches defensively versus taking a
Well, you
shot.
could take Hunter if you think he's going to be a cornerback.
Yeah, if they view him that way. You could, listen, and CB, pairing him with Christian Gonzalez, because Christian Gonzalez is a dude at corner. He's one of the best young corners in the league. So that's the appeal of Travis Hunter, is that you can get a guy that can contribute on both sides of the ball, and that's why I think he is going to go in the top 5. CB, you mentioned Jaxon Dart. On Mel's side of things, AR, he has him going 9 right now to New Orleans. Daniel Jeremiah has him sliding just a bit, but staying in the first round and going to the Steel City with the Pittsburgh Steelers at 21.
I think they'd be in the same situation. I think that even if Aaron Rodgers and Pittsburgh got together, they could still take Dart at 21. But it's weird. I'll tell you, they've had bad luck trying to lately pick a quarterback in the first round.
I know the Kenny Pickett thing can haunt you just a little bit. CB's got Uncle Mel explaining why he has Jaxon Dart, sliding up real high in the first round.
You have Jaxon Dart making his first appearance in your mock top 10. You have him 9 to the Saints. Give me the thinking.
Well, first of all, last year in mock 3.0, I had Bo Nix going to a team that ended up taking him, the Denver Broncos. I got talked out of that in mock 4.0. Nobody's talking me out of this one, Greeny. Jaxon Dart locked into the Saints at 9 for me right now. Think about, he went west with USC to the SEC, right? Bo Nix went SEC out west to Oregon. I think when you look at Jaxon Dart, the improvement, completion percentage up every year. Okay, interceptions down, and he maintained that at 5.6. Complete percentage up every year. Touchdowns up every year. Jaxon Dart with his legs, 1,500 rushing yards the last 3 years. Okay, 8 rushing touchdowns 2 years ago. That's the underrated part of Jaxon Dart's game. This is an NFC now, adding Jaden and Caleb, Michael Penix Jr., the division with Penix Jr., and 2 number 1s overall, Baker and Bryce Young. And now you get Jaxon Dart. You got to keep up with the division, Greeny. The Saints, you get new coach, new quarterback coming in together.
That's wild if he goes that high, but it wouldn't shock me because quarterbacks, you got to take a swing.
And there's usually always one guy that does this, each draft cycle, right? Where he comes in, we end the season, and it's like, okay, second round grade, third round grade, and then you get to the Senior Bowl and you get to the combine and the meetings and on the field. And then some of these evaluators go back and look at the tape and like, okay, maybe there's more there than we initially thought, and Jaxon Dart seems to be that guy.
Listen, I know you guys remember a while back I was, and it's not a dream scenario, it's just a scenario for Cleveland. I was in the Travis Hunter, Jaxon Dart at 33. That's what I was hoping for CB's club. And at that point, I think even thought Jaxon Dart might be even to reach there at 33. Now it seems like it'd be a gift from the football gods if he dropped to 33.
He may get Travis Hunter and Mr. Unlimited. Well, that's still on the board, too.
That's fine for now.
No,
but you're going to fine. You'll go from 3 wins to 7 or 8. I don't know. Maybe their defense can carry him again with quality quarterback play. Maybe they do get into the playoffs with Russ and that defense. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, but where's the future? What is your goal here?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where they are. All right, we're going to come back. We will stay with football because if there is a recruiting pitch for Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if you want to send this guy to do it. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And Bet and Reduce Juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. You know what's better than new windows? A new window from Universal Windows Direct that's on sale. It's the tax time sale. You save big while making your home comfortable and energy efficient. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free. Plus, you pay no interest till 2030. Plus, you get an extra $500 off your home improvement project in March only. Schedule your free home estimate today, 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
The best matchup is you in a new Kia from Coughlin Kia. Get into a new Kia now with $0 down. Get 0% financing on select new Kias and make 0 payments for 3 months on any new Kia in stock. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
0% for 72 equals $1,389 per 1,000 financed on Nero EV, EV6, and EV9 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 90 days deferred payments until June 2025. Qualified manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. No security deposit. Residency restrictions may apply. Offers cannot be combined. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/25.
Basketball from noon to midnight. Scotty Vegas here, and we're throwing a Vegas-style basketball party at Hollywood Casino at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. I even went out to Vegas to scout out how to throw this party. Tough assignment. The Fan is doing 24 hours of watch parties. The opening weekend of the tournament, there'll be custom T-shirts, Pop-A-Shot, horse games. Oh, and don't miss a game with a 50-foot video wall. Reserve your spot at HollywoodColumbus.com. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yes! Let's go!
That's you taking another sip of your... Do the do.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222.
Brackets are out, and now it's time to win some cash. Enter the Fan and 10 TV Bracket Challenge for your chance to win $1,000.
Sponsored by Mountain Dew, Ohio bottled, Buckeye bold.
Compete against your favorite Fan and 10 TV personalities, and compete against the ones you hate too. Registration closes at noon on Thursday, so don't wait till the final buzzer. Head to 971thefan.com for all the fun. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Springtime is here, and you know what that means. It's time for mulch madness. Did you know that too much mulch is bad for trees and shrubs? 2 inches of mulch is plenty. Any more and you risk causing roots to grow up and around trunks, which increases unhealthy stress, shortens tree life, and even keeps moisture from getting down to tree roots. To find out more about mulch madness or to find a certified arborist near you, visit treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Great day today to be outside doing a little bit of spring cleaning or maybe getting in that afternoon walk. Lots of sunshine, high around 70. Tomorrow will be equally as warm, and in fact, it might actually be a little bit warmer with a high around 72, with winds as high as 35 miles per hour. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best bet on the radio. This is Rothman and Ice.
A little breaking news, Matty. Tell them.
Michigan State, latest to join the No More Spring Game party. So, I don't know.
They got to do something for the fans, right?
Come on in, pay
the
money.
Showcase.
Pay money.
Meet the players.
Yeah.
Let the kids run around the field. I don't know. Like, there's got to be something.
Look, this is...
You're not just going to throw away a money opportunity in the spring. You're trying to get people to buy tickets and season tickets and get people energized. You can't just shut off the team to the fans. I think they know that. So I think my guess is that this whole showcase word that's being thrown around will be more of a little festival for the fans.
Well, Ohio State doing the showcase, certain teams aren't doing anything. And so we've heard different explanations from head coaches. It's, the amount of games that we played. I know that's something that Steve Sarkisian threw out there. They made a nice run, obviously, getting into the playoff and all that stuff. Michigan State doesn't obviously have that same reasoning. I'd be curious why they don't, view it as a worthy thing to do anymore. But there's a hint of momentum behind this around college football and teams or universities going about it different ways, or some universities not doing it at all. So just something to monitor that's out there now.
Listen, most coaches are paranoid about stuff, and why wouldn't they be? It's always in the back of their minds. Like, what am I going to be showing? What kind of formations am I showing? What am I tipping off to the competition? Is it worth the risk of injury, of putting my guys in pads and letting them final go around?
Yeah, no doubt. The one explanation I heard, AR, from Matt Rule, that I was like, oh, okay. I see that vision, where he talked about something that you were kind of alluding to with putting film out there, but specifically good players out there on film, and having that head coach, that collective, that group of millionaires and billionaires saying, that kid, let's get him to our program.
So you're basically able to scout other people's players in a spring showcase game that's televised
and throw a bag at them
and say, wow, that backup, he could start for me.
Yeah, here's $600K for that kid, whatever. That's part of the game.
That's another part of it.
Yeah, so that's out there.
Well, the games have always been kind of scaled back anyway.
No doubt.
To some degree.
Yeah.
Boy, well, like I said, the games are televised. It's the one chance I get to see your squad televised. I'll record it. I'll dissect whatever I can from it. And you're right. It's probably where they are allowed to go now. But everything's gone up. Ticket prices have gone up. Everything kind of rises. And I just think you got to be careful not in this fan base, because it doesn't matter whether they had one or not, technically. But I think it's always a really good thing to do for your fans at a time of year where certain fans can't afford a $200 ticket or something to go see a football game on a Saturday. Parking, food, drink, all of that.
That's real.
A souvenir. And then you get them to a spring game, and it's like, okay.
And catch some of the vibe.
$8, yeah.
That's real.
All right. This is interesting because Aaron Rodgers is still off the grid, and there's some polarizing feel to him, whether we know he's on the downside, of course. There are some people that think that he can still be a beast in the right situation, in a one-game situation, and that he's not, as people like to say, washed up. And so nobody knows what he's going to do. And I think he has the right, like any other player would, especially the end of his career. I pointed this out. He's not just deciding what team, or he's deciding whether he wants to give up football forever. It's a pretty big decision, even though a lot of people think the decision has been made for him. And Cam Heyward, what was this on, Maddie? Was this a pod?
This was his podcast.
His pod, okay.
His own podcast, yes.
So Aaron Rodgers has been linked to the Steelers, and why not? It seems like he has something going there personally with Tomlin, too, that they have a little bit of a relationship, that they might want to see this actually happen. So the Steelers are in. The Giants, as we mentioned, are in. I think the Vikings were contemplating at one time but haven't made a jump here. Why would they spend all that money and then let JJ sit again? It just doesn't seem like that's going to be it. But Cam Heyward was asked basically, or discussed on his podcast, what his recruiting pitch would be to Aaron Rodgers.
You doing that or darkness retreat? I don't need any of that crap. Like, either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. That's simple. That's the pitch. Like, if you want me to recruit, that's the recruiting pitch. Pittsburgh Steelers, if you want to be part of it, so be it. If you don't, no skin on my back.
It's a little direct.
You think?
I think that he's a guy nearing the end of his athletic career, maybe. And so I don't think this is I'm giving Rodgers maybe a little too much of a pass here. I think he's entitled, if there are a few teams, to weigh his options. And what Cam's looking at it is, well, I know the teams that are up for this. And if you don't want to be a Steeler, if you don't know for sure you want to be a Steeler and wear the black and gold and be a part of this, then take a hike. Yeah. I don't think it's that way. The fact that it sounds like he's not fed up with Aaron specifically, but he's saying, well, what do you have to think about? When did the Steelers become all of a sudden the team again?
I think what you're talking about could be very real, because for Cam, he may be looking around and saying, like, dude, it's us or the Giants? Us or the Giants? And you're out doing whatever you're doing? Like, this should be a no-brainer.
But that's making the assumption that he knows he wants to play.
No, I hear you. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I can understand from Cam and it being a competitor, him feeling that way. What we just heard from Cam, I don't know if it helps the situation based off of Aaron Rodgers' personality. And we know how prickly he can be and sometimes cold he can be with how he goes about his business. So if you're Mike Tomlin, if you're Omar Khan, ownership in Pittsburgh, and you're really wanting Aaron Rodgers, you probably didn't love what you just heard from one of your leaders. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Heyward, some other players around the league, based off of Aaron Rodgers' personality, are probably like, take it or leave it, you know? Like, do we really
We're not going to beg you to come play for us. I think that's where his mind is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it is. That may be from his side.
Correct.
That it feels like Aaron is playing this game. That's what I heard in his voice. That Aaron is just going to go to the highest bidder, and he's making teams guess. And
he wants to make it about him, and he wants everybody talking about him. And that can, I get, rub some guys the wrong way. Yeah. I can understand that.
And it sounds like that. Yeah. And it sounds like he's also very frustrated with talking about the quarterback position because they're not bringing back Russ, right? Or are they?
Seem like it.
No,
it
probably
didn't feel
not.
That way.
They let Justin go, and so they brought back Mason Rudolph, but
Mr. Unlimited.
There he is. He might be on his way back.
So I think part of this is just his frustration, and then when he hears a guy like Aaron Rodgers is contemplating things, it may not all be about whether it's the Steelers or the Giants. It may be, does he really want to play football still? And he's got the right to kind of figure that out on his own time. We'll see.
We shall see. Fellas, if you're not feeling good and you look at that picture of Bill Belichick and his girlfriend doing yoga on the beach and you thought to yourself, man, I want to do that. A place that can get you headed in the right direction is the Columbus Men's Clinic. Because if you've been waiting to treat your low T or ED, or maybe you had a bad experience with yet another clinic that opened quickly and closed, it's time to go on over to the Columbus Men's Clinic and move forward with your sex life, your career, and your gym goals. They specialize in seeing guys who think they're out of luck regain hope that they can be successful in the bedroom and beyond. Seriously, go see the team that for 10 years, guys, has been #1 in Ohio for men's health. Stop thinking about it and get in there. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400. Or go online to columbusmensclinic.com to book an appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
All right, the Bengals did their fans a pretty big favor there, and they spent some cash. And the non-billionaire owner decided he was going to spend on T. Higgins. Well, we'll talk to Jay Morrison next and decide whether they can get Trey back as well on that defense. And we'll examine that in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Good morning, beat freaks. Who's ready to move? Let's start this day right.
Tasha's morning dance parties are meeting rave reviews.
Lose your phones and find your groove.
They need an ops manager to help their community dance the morning away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
military veterans, and active duty service members. You could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts. Rub it together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
At NJM Insurance, we're like a symphony. It all starts by doing the right thing. Add in dedicated reps and put policyholders first. But no jingles or mascots because it's just not us. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Anthony Rothman here for Tel-Ohio. Tel-Ohio Credit Union has been financing dreams and fueling the local economy for 90 years. And as the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions, learn why more than 3,000 business owners trust Tel-Ohio. Visit telohio.org/business.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The perfect ratio of sports talk, dogs, pro wrestling, and gambling advice.
It's science.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back into Rothman and Ice. Time to go to the Queen City, and we hook it up with our friend, the Bengals beat writer for SI's BengalsTalk.com. He's the one and only Jay Morrison. J-Mo, I hope you are doing well.
I am doing very well. This is one of my favorite times of years. Free agency slows down. The March Madness tournament ramps up. It's a good day at the Morrison household.
Well, it's also a fairly good day for Bengals fans in that they must feel that Mike Brown found some money in the couch and he decided to go ahead and give it to some of his players, which is always good, right? And they don't give up a lot of guarantees more than a year. We know that. They broke that precedent with Burrow and now with the receivers. Just give me your overall feel. I know Bengal fan has to be happy that T. Higgins is a part of this. He's a very good talent, but kind of balance it for us with the insane amount of money those three guys will carry and how it will impact the team going forward.
Well, I think the insane amount of money that those guys will carry correlates to the insane amount of influence Joe Burrow has on this organization. I mean, he got the guaranteed money on his own deal, and he's a big reason that T and Jamar got the second-year guaranteed money on these deals. He stumped for them openly and kind of forced the front office into this, and it's a big deal. It's a little less than 50% of the salary cap going into just those three guys, and they're still trying to get Trey Hendrickson done. It's a big ask to put that much money into such a small group and still have a well-rounded team. But you feel with that core, with Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, you roll the ball out there with those three, and you are going to be one of the best offenses, certainly one of the best passing offenses in the league, and you're always going to have a chance. And you just need that defense to be average, and this team can get back into the postseason.
You touched on defense. Let's go there. Let's go there with their first-round pick this year. On the defensive side of the ball, if they do, use their first-round pick on a defensive player, what position do you think they should use that on?
Well, I'll answer that question with a question. Is Trey Hendrickson back? Yeah. If Trey Hendrickson is back, I think it's kind of 50-50. If it's an edge rusher or a pass rushing defensive tackle. They really kind of fortified the middle of that line with run stoppers, but they need a guy that can really push the pocket and get after the quarterback. And there's a lot of them in this draft. It's one of the best defensive tackle drafts in that regard, as far as three techs and guys that can rush the passer. So I think that's probably the direction they go. I do think we're going to see Trey Hendrickson back here this year, whether it's on the deal he's originally signed or whether it's a raise or extension. That'll play out. But I could see defensive tackle, edge rusher, linebacker, guard being their first four picks regardless of round. We'll see how it shapes out. But they've kind of painted themselves into a corner by waiting so long to get T and Jamar done. that they missed on all the good players that could have filled some of those spots in free agency are gone. So they are not going to be in the best player available mode in this draft. They are going to be drafting for need.
Jay Morrison with us, Bengals beat writer, BengalsTalk.com, here on Rothman and Ice. I'm with you. I think even with Trey, they still need to improve that pass rush. They brought in run stoppers. They've been trying to play that little roulette game with, big dudes that can help against the run, but they need to kind of get after the passer a little bit from the interior. So even with Trey, you do think they'll be kind of prioritizing that part of it?
Yeah, I do. And it'll be interesting to see. We've seen them do this in the past on third downs or in obvious pass rush situations, move Joseph Osai inside. Yep. He's a little bit undersized to play in there, but he can still get after the quarterback from the inside. And you're hoping Myles Murphy makes a jump, and you're hoping that Joseph Osai can – he had 5 sacks in the last 7 games last year. Really kind of light went on for him, and that's why they brought him back on a 1-year, $7 million deal, and he's probably going to be the starter on that other side. But, yeah, that is the key. That's what this is all about, and they know it firsthand from Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has talked about it where he's okay with the guys flying off the edge. You don't want it every down, but he can make those guys miss. It's when the pressure comes up the middle it really affects him, and I think they know that affects the other teams as well.
Jay, as you know, and we all know, that three-headed monster on offense is, almost, tops in the league. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better three-headed monster around the NFL. But the addition, or running it back, I should say, with Mike Gesicki, I think is big time too. Just talk about him re-upping with Cincinnati and the role that he could play over the next couple seasons down there in Cincinnati.
Yeah, really sneaky. I thought he was the prize of free agency last year when they got him on a 1-year, $2.5 million deal, and he started a little slow, just like the Bengals tend to do. And he and Joe Burrow really connected personally right away. It was a little bit of a work in progress on the field, but they after Eric All went out, their 4th-round pick last year, the tight end, they really started leaning more into Mike Gesicki in the pass game, and he is a weapon. And Joe Burrow, we've seen this from Joe Burrow. He gets tight ends paid. It's usually he gets them paid elsewhere. Well, he got Mike Gesicki paid to stay here, so that is going to be a big part of that offense because, my gosh, you talked about it, that three-headed monster, there's going to be a lot of attention thrown at Jamar and T, and for Mike Gesicki, for Andre Yoshivas, that's going to be big for them to have one-on-one coverage and kind of be those extra targets on offense.
Jay, where are you on this offensive line? It feels like at times I thought, maybe they're not as bad as it seemed to me, and then at times maybe they didn't certainly meet expectations. Growth for Mims is probably coming, you hope. It feels like you might need to still find some starters on that O-line. Where are you with it?
Yeah, I think you're set at tackle with Orlando Brown and Mims together for the next 2 years. Those are incredibly huge, talented bookends, so that's fine. And then Ted Karras has been a very solid center. He's going into the final year of his deal if they don't extend him the way they gave him a 1-year deal last year in camp, a 1-year extension. Maybe that happens again. But guard's the issue. If they rolled out the ball right now to start a game, it's Cody Ford and then probably Cordell Volson. Cordell Volson was the worst graded guard in the league last year. Alex Kappa was right there next to last. So that's the reason Alex Kappa's not back. Cordell Volson they're hoping, and this is a lot of what's going on with this team. There's a lot of hope as part of the plan. They're hoping he will take a step under new offensive line coach Scott Peters. But that's I think the biggest issue with the signings of Jamar and T and not getting them done early. There were some quality starting guards out there in free agency that they could have added. I thought they should add 2, at least 1, and they didn't do either. So we'll see. That they are going to be banking on a draft pick really kind of rising up and pushing for a starting spot. Otherwise, I don't know how you feel good about Cody Ford and Cordell Volson as your starting guards.
Jay, what's next for Chase Brown? This guy came onto the scene and was a nice spark for them, provided some nice balance, in my opinion, to their offense outside of that aerial attack. But looking at him last year, getting the bulk of the work and now turning the page over to this year, what do you think he needs to add to his game? What are they expecting from Chase Brown now that he's been in the league a couple years?
Yeah, they're thrilled with him, and they leaned fully into him last year. Once Zach Moss got hurt, it was that they did not shy away from just riding him, and they kind of had to. They were in playoff mode about midseason, and I don't know that that's sustainable. He's not that big of a guy. He's terrific. He's explosive. But I think it was a really good signing to get Samaje Perine back. I think you're going to see them add maybe a running back in the draft, or maybe just load up an undrafted free agency with some running backs to kind of fill out that room. But Chase Brown he did this in the offseason last year. He went and worked with the wide receiver coach to get better at route running and to get better at all those little details. And it paid off. He was not just terrific in the run game, but he was a big weapon for Joe Burrow in the pass game. I think you'll see Samaje Perine in there on a lot of the third downs to kind of take some of the load off Chase Brown, because you do worry about any running back that is as a bell cow, so to speak, but especially one that's kind of a slighter build like Chase is.
All right, Jay, we won't hold you to it, but we'll hit you with a final one. You confident that Trey goes the similar route as T. Higgins? Maybe takes a little bit of a home team discount to kind of keep this thing running, and the Bengals meet somewhat of his asking price.
Yeah, I do, because he asked for the chance to go explore trade options, and he did. And there was no partner found. Now, whether that was people not giving Trey what he wanted in terms of an extension, or whether that was teams not giving the Bengals what they wanted in terms of compensation for the trade, but it's fallen apart. It doesn't feel like a trade is still on the table. So it's going to come down to Trey either sitting out and being an issue in training camp and not wanting to play on that $16 million that he's owed this year, or the Bengals stepping up. The big question to me is, do they just throw a bunch of money at him, maybe give him a $10 million raise this year, keep it a one-year deal, or do they extend him? I kind of lead towards something shorter, a one just this year, or maybe a one-year extension, give him a shot to hit free agency next year or the following year.
Well done, my man. You're always on the inside. That's why we ring you up. Be well, and we'll talk soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
You got it. Jay Morrison, Bengals beat writer, BengalsTalk.com. He was on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We will come back with a Buckeye Bulletin, and we'll talk about that safety position and maybe the fit to replace Ransom. We'll talk about it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March? What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks, with one goal in mind: to send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas, where they'll compete for $10,000. Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light and watch some hoops on Saturday afternoon as they take over Pastimes Grandview and Grandview Yard. They'll be there from 2 to 6 p.m. and have a mini hoops basketball challenge that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
Breaking never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows.
It's the limited time tax sale. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, plus no interest until 2030 and an extra $500 off only in March. Call them today, 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
I hope you're ready for all the Jackets talk you can handle. Join us Wednesday night at 7 for the Inside Edge.
Sponsored by Visit Central Florida. Discover the real Florida magic at visitcentralflorida.com.
The Fan.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I need new rotors.
When you buy 2 Duralast rotors during our spring sale, you get Duralast brake pads free.
Free?
With the rotors.
Well, that's great. What if I need extra stopping power?
You can upgrade to Duralast Gold pads for just $10.
So Duralast pads are free?
Yep.
And an upgrade is just $10?
That's right. Part of the spring sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the chill? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on Train furnaces, including 0% APR for 60 months.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. Mentioned to you earlier, it's worth mentioning it again, that Ohio State is the favorite to repeat this year, according to our Bet365. 5-1, they'll give you a boost right now to get you to 5.5-1. If you want to let that money just marinate for a little less than a year. Just let it ride, baby.
You mentioned Bet365. I want to let you know that Bet365, they sponsor our podcast. If you ever miss anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up because wherever you get your pods, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Hey, CB, before we get to football, and we will here in a minute, grab that Diebler bite, have that handy about why they didn't take the crown. And the reason I'm bringing it up again, Maddie, is everybody knows they declined the invite to Fox's college basketball crown tournament, and it officially ended their season. When I came in the other day, I was like, you're a new coach. You want to stay with your team as long as possible. I think that's the assumption I would have made 5 years ago. Like, not now. I have no idea who's coming and going with this team. No, it's a revolving door. They don't know who they can retain, who doesn't even want to play, where the mindset is of this team. And so I saw a narrative out there yesterday like, hey, you're trying to rebuild a program and you're trying to stay with your guys. Yeah, ideally, if this was the olden days, and what I mean by olden days is a few years ago, without NIL and without the inducements and without the I'm going to the highest bidder and guys that were connected to a program year to year where you could actually build a team and keep guys in the program. It's the one thing I actually do like about Auburn is that they've had some guys in the program for a while. But either way, but I want to hear quickly, because we didn't hear this from Jake, on why they chose not to.
We've been playing in big-time, meaningful games for a significant stretch, and our guys have poured everything they had into it. And we got some guys who, quite honestly, they're banged up. They're dealing with some injuries and just some overall kind of totality of the season of what we asked a couple guys to do. And, we still got some guys sick right now. Like, it's been a lot, and we just felt like, right now, certainly the timing of the crown's not ideal. I mean, if we're going to have an open, we can be open and direct about that too. But it was more about just everything else we've had going on physically and what we've done to get through this year, that we felt like the best thing right now for this group was to turn that down. Now, getting into the crown, I think I love the idea of it, right? I think it's great what they're trying to do. The timing's tough because it starts, after the portal opens. And we explored even not going to the Crown and trying to get into the NIT as a potential option, maybe a third option if NCAA tournament Crown. And because of the deal, the Big Ten has and things, that wasn't an option for us. It was Crown or nothing. We couldn't do NIT this year because we were the highest rated net team in the league, which was, essentially that was the agreement with the Crown and the Big Ten. So those were our two options, NCAA tournament or Crown. And we just, again, that's why we aren't playing.
So a couple things there. One, it sounded like if he had a squad, he'd go, that he'd do it. There's other teams playing, other teams that are beat up, that have played a season, they're doing it. And here's the other natural follow-up. If you're so beat up, what would have happened if you made the tournament? So, and here's the right answer. The right answer is, if I'm answering myself, the right answer is, it's not worth it. This isn't the big dance. We don't have to push ourselves that much. But if they would have gotten in, you couldn't have gone with we're beat up. You would have gone with, hey, we're excited, we're ready to go, and the dance, here we are.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And, I hear him on the injury stuff, but as soon as he got to that, the Crown starts after the portal opens? That's
We're
the
not
biggest
positioned
one.
that way. That's what he's telling. This program, the advantage is not playing. I need to get to work on this roster.
My mind went to, I don't know who's going to be on my roster.
That's what I mean.
After this portal opens up. So if we committed to the Crown, I don't know who I can take out there with me.
He might play. Player coach.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm
My
saying.
team is on the floor.
That's right.
Yeah. So
Norman Dale, tribute.
So that's a clip to remember right there. And maybe I'm reading way too much into that, but maybe he knows already that he's going to lose a guy or two. I don't know. But as soon as he said that, I was like, okay, that's very interesting that he threw that out there.
It's the fact that he doesn't know. That's the factor. That's it. And so I believe him absolutely. His heart says, I want to continue to play. I want my guys to play basketball. I want to coach them some more. I want to see what I got. But I don't know what I got because the year is essentially over. We moved to football, and here's Ryan Day talking about his safety room day one.
We're going to look at it and see what makes the most sense. With the nickel position, the adjuster and the bandit, that was sort of, how we identified it last year with Jordan and Lathan and Caleb. Well, now it's going to be a little bit different. So, we want to put those guys in position to be as successful as we possibly can. As you noticed later in the season, Caleb found himself playing a little bit more down where the nickel used to be, and Jordan was playing a little bit, more safety position. So it was good to have some ability to change, the job descriptions and have versatility. And so we'll do the same, but this year, a little bit different bodies in there. So, we want to have the flexibility to adjust. And then just like on offense, it's the same thing on defense. We want to put our players in a position to be successful. And I thought one of the best things we did in the second half of the season was do that. In particular with Caleb, we put him more towards the action, and he had more of an impact on the game. So we need to do that on defense this year based on who we have. And so we're going to look at, field boundary, strong, weak, left, right, all the above.
Caleb Downs is so good at football, he could probably play pass rusher and lead the team in sacks. That's how talented that guy is. You get that optionality with how he can move around on that defense. The dude's an absolute stud, as we know, but the replacing of Lathan Ransom, AR, as you know, is big time. Like, Lathan Ransom put together a very good year. He's top 5 in the team in tackles, tied for number 1 on the team in forced fumbles. So his presence will be missed, but whoever steps up and gets to play next to Caleb Downs is going to be in good hands just because of how good he is and his expertise, right, and his knowledge and his ability to help his teammate who's going to be rolling with him back there.
Did Coach say who's going to be Smokey and who's going to be the Bandit?
There you go.
Smokey and the Bandit. Listen, that Jalen McClain is might be the fit there. I don't know. I mean, you talked about Downs. He talked about Downs. If he's going to stay at free safety, then we'll see if things are moved around. And was only day one, but that'll be very interesting. But when you can start in that room with Caleb Downs,
good place to start.
Everything can kind of slide in around. Gives you a lot of versatility.
No doubt. Because this time next year, AR, we were talking about Mel Kiper's mock draft and Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft. Caleb Downs' name will be coming off the board very early, I have to imagine, this time next year.
All right, that's your Buckeye Bulletin for today. We'll come back with a SportsCenter update, top of the hour. And CB plays a little game he likes to call True or False. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
If you don't like listening to the Morning Juice, Bobby Carpenter's man nipples will punch you in the face. For real.
You want to fight, do you? Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan. Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. You know, as much as I enjoy being a professional inventor, a few of my dream inventions still elude me.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, the bruiseless avocado.
Ooh.
The unlosable TV remote.
Could change the world.
And for you, Aaron, the uncloggable drain.
Get Eco.
Until you crack it, Jerry. You know our 93 are free drain clearing offer is the next best thing.
Okay. Explain yourself.
Get Eco.
Our drain team will clear your drain for just $93. If we can't clear it, it's free. And we guarantee it'll stay clear for at least a year, or we will clear it again for free.
Get Eco.
We'll even send our little robot camera down there to make sure you don't have a larger problem that could cause more trouble in the future.
Get Eco.
You think your guys could bring that robot over to my place and help me find that TV remote?
I think that's impossible even for us.
Get Eco.
Eco, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
The best matchup is you in a new ride at Coughlin Chevrolet, Central Ohio's #1 Chevy dealer. Lease a new 25 Chevy Trax, $149 a month. Your choice. New 25 Trailblazer or 24 Blazer EV RS. Lease for $169 a month. At all 5 Coughlin Chevy locations and CoughlinChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Coughlin has the car for you.
3642 and 24-month leases, 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over, $39.99 due at signing plus tax, title, and license. See dealer for details. Ends 3/31/25.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts. Rub it together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Here's 3 reasons to buy your Blue Jackets ticket plans for the 25-26 season. 1, pick your seat and pick your games. 2, plans start at just 11 games. 3, priority access to Stanley Cup playoff tickets. Act now. Visit BlueJackets.com/tickets.
Sometimes you don't realize something was bothering you
Until it's gone.
That's how you're going to feel
After we work our magic at your house.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cole Bartimas. This jacket skid just keeps getting worse and worse. The Devils came into town and left with a 2-1 victory over the CBJ. The Jackets outshot the Devils 46-20, but Jake Allen was a brick wall. They weren't even able to get their lone goal of the game until midway through the third period, and the standings look a lot different than they did a couple weeks ago. The Jackets are a couple spots out of the wild card right now, although they are still only 2 points out. So as bad as this stretch has been, there's still a lot to play for in these final 15 games. But the schedule will not get any easier as the Florida Panthers will visit Nationwide on Thursday evening. And the Major League Baseball regular season began this morning in Tokyo. Get used to hearing this. The Dodgers won. They beat the Cubs 4-1, and they did it without Mookie Betts or Freddie Freeman in the lineup. Yoshinobu Yamamoto only allowed 1 run on 5 innings pitched. Those two go again tomorrow at 6:10 a.m. This update is brought to you by Whiskey War by High Bank Distillery. Drink local, drink High Bank.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, back at it. Final hour of the program. Legendary Oakland Raider Dave Casper on the program at 2:30 as we highlight some stuff from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in their special exhibit for the Golden Domers, 14 of them in Canton, and the Ghost is one of them. All right. We all, by the way, did you see, I don't know whether ESPN is running out of content or whether they just are finding, it's kind of like uniforms and like hats. Yeah. Like people think like, somebody said something to you the other day, like, hey, Maddie, the Reds colors are red, not whatever color, brown or whatever.
You guys were giving me some crap last night because I had on a Yankees hat at the game.
CB didn't know that.
CB wasn't even in the house last night.
He was wearing a Yankee hat last night.
Well, listen, here's the thing. It went with my fit. I had on a New York hoodie, and I could not wear, I had to go New York on New York. That's what I needed to do.
Tim Hall?
I am like, the General's in the house.
Wait a minute. Is he still in the house?
The General is in the house. But yeah, I was rocking a Yankees hat last night. What you're talking about is Matt Andrews the other day. I had on like a gray and white Cincinnati Reds hat. And I'm like, listen, when it comes to my team or teams, doesn't really matter.
Well, I'm just saying.
If it looks good, I'm rocking it.
It's all about, right. If they didn't make anything new, they couldn't sell anything. Right. Everyone would already have it.
Yeah.
And so my point of the whole story is ESPN put out a crowning a champion in our 64-team college football bracket.
Come on, I don't need this.
So they basically did a Midwest region. They did regionals for football, and they had Ohio State's first round. Ohio State played Boston College in the first round, then Arkansas as a 9, and then advance.
I don't even want this in the atmosphere to tempt people that can make the decisions to go down this road.
You know, this happens in Hollywood. My dad used to always say this. If we saw a crappy movie, we'd walk out of the movie and he goes, "They're running out of ideas." That's what he would always say. and so I think they just ran out of an idea today.
I don't love that idea at all.
Maddie, you look real nice in that Chiefs cap, though. That's going to really, it'll look really good on you.
That's a line that I cannot cross.
It's good. You'll have that Lamar jersey on with the Chiefs cap.
Yeah, he went full really LeBron last night with the Yankee cap. That is LeBron-esque, correct?
It was a nice hat, though.
It was a nice hat.
That'll be the dare in the little game we're about to play.
It's true or false? No,
it's truth or dare. Colin changed it over here. CB.
It does sound better.
Well, it's more enticing. You want to give the listener some intrigue. It's the theater of the mind, Rothman. You've always told me that.
It's just that simple.
It really is. All right, are we playing a little game of truth or dare?
I don't know. When the General's here, you just never know where the show's
what the dare would be? I'll remind people of this. When the three of us were together under a slate gray sky. Bobby, when we were down in the Brewery District, it wasn't a dare. I think it was his own challenge. He decided to play the human game of Frogger with himself and sprint from one side of the Kroger parking lot to the other.
It was amazing.
Where cars were moving, grocery carts, and I said, "You're going to be in somebody's grill." And he's like, "No, I'll just slide off the hood and kind of it'll be a glancing blow." He made it unscathed.
Matty, you never take contact fully on. You always want to slide. I think, honestly, Rothman, I think that happened all during a break. The bet was, can I get to the Kroger door and back before the break is up?
You made it with some wiggle room, too.
Well, I need to then catch my breath.
He's got some wiggle. He's got some wiggle. The other bet, and I'll protect the guilty just because I don't remember the name really. He said, what if I gave this person a head start and they started at the stairs. At the stairs of the station and I started at Kroger? Would I beat them up to the studio?
And I think you knew where the money was at.
The smart money.
It was minus 300 or 400.
At least. It might have been minus 800. Implied odds of about 12%.
Oh, my goodness.
Profit.
Bob, while we got you here, I know you've seen the picture of Bill Belichick on the beach doing yoga with his girlfriend.
Listen, Coach, Matty, one day when you're 74 years old dating a 24-year-old, I mean, you'll do goat yoga in the water. Like, it doesn't matter. You'd do anything for that.
I mean, Bill just legs to the sky, Bobby. It was it's an unbelievable image.
To the sky.
What the kids are all about. Hey, you know what? The Tar Heels made the tournament.
Darn right.
That's all you need
because
to know.
their AD is the chair, making another extra $100,000 if his team is in there. But I wasn't in the room when they were talking about us. Yeah, but you were in the room when they discussed the other bubble teams. I'm sure you stabbed them in the back.
Listen, that West Virginia governor wasn't in there either.
Hey, did you see the story that Belichick wants all of his in-house emails? He wants her CC'd on them?
Wait, what?
Yes.
Why?
Like, what, is she GMing the team?
Cersei Lannister.
Maddie, I saw this. I could not believe it.
Power resides where people believe it does, Rothman.
Why do you think...
Power is power. That scene is amazing, by the way.
What do you think that's all about? Just
what is that?
Making her feel important?
Making her feel important.
Does she have a title within the program, or is this... I'm honestly asking, does she?
Assistant head coach.
Yeah, there's a title.
Associate head coach.
I don't know if you can put it on a card, though.
All right.
Oh, man.
That is unbelievable.
Really
God bless him.
It really is.
Maddie was talking about like why he went to Carolina and then the father and the whole kind of bookending.
There's a song called Sweet Carolina Girls. They played it for me on my visit there. Obviously, Bill was in on that. And anybody can get it on that, Rothman.
AR just got a new script of Vicodin, and anybody can get in on that. That's today's Health Minute. So, what was I can even say? Oh, when he went to North Carolina, Maddie says, I don't know if this is going to work very well. You know, him at 72 relating to kids. And I'm like, he's dating one. He's got a perfect scenario. Maybe she's recruiting coordinator or something like that. Roll out the red carpet.
Maybe just the fun coordinator. How about that? You know, Patino, when he was at Louisville, they had some coordination like that of some different things.
I think it was a special dorm.
Maybe she's getting in on that. Listen, the old guys seem to know. Rick Pitino, really dude, he's number 2 seed. He could go the Final Four with his 4th school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They seem now to be past the point of any self-consciousness now. Like they've just... If you're going to get me, it's okay. My career's done anyway, almost.
It's like when you become an older gentleman, you can say whatever you want. And you're like, man, Grandpa, like, people don't really talk like that anymore. And you're like, oh, he's old. You know, like they did when he was younger.
Exactly.
It's like, Grandpa, that was kind of like closet racist, but I don't think you meant anything by it, but you're just pulling out terms from 1965. Like my grandma would say something, I'm like, huh? That's... Yeah. Oriental is a rug, not a person, Grandma. And she's like, but they were the nicest folks you'd ever meet. And I'm like, so you just double down. We're just going to double on down with it. It was amazing. I'm like, I've never seen anything like it. But so that's
not the proper nomenclature.
Exactly. At some point. Exactly. Thank you, Walter Solchek over there.
Well, listen, there's a difference to how dumb you are as to what part of the country you're standing in, right? It's a different issue for everybody, but CB, do you want to play this little game?
Yeah, it's truth or dare.
All right, what are the questions?
First question.
Yeah.
Speaking of 11 seeds.
Okay.
More 11 seeds will win in the first round than 12 seeds, Rothman. Truth or dare? You can elect the dare if you want.
I'm going to say false.
That's not the option.
I think the 12s are solid.
But UNC's an 11.
Boy, this is a difficult question. Now I got to pull up a bracket.
Your 11s AR would be, your
VCU.
12s. Colorado State, 12. McNeese is a 12.
UC San Diego.
Yes.
Colorado State.
There you go.
All right, I will tell you right now, and I don't know this for a fact, I bet 2 of those 12s are favored over the 5s. Am I right, CB? Oh, he can't hear a thing.
2 of the 12s are favored over the 5s.
Do you think so?
Just one.
Oh, just one. Okay. Which one? Colorado State?
Colorado State.
Okay.
Of course you guessed it, Rothman.
All right. I'm going to say false.
So Maddie has to take the dare.
Yep.
What's the dare?
Chiefs hat.
Run out onto Olentangy River Road,
Chiefs
dodge
hat.
some traffic.
No, next year when the Ravens play the Chiefs, he has to wear a Chiefs hat.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll get you a whole fit, though. It'll look really good. Retro, throwback. You'll feel good about it.
Got some nice colors, Bob.
Hey, by the way, he pulled a page out of my book. He cut Mark Andrews after he dropped that pass. He didn't even let him. He cut him.
I wanted his bags packed, Bobby. I was in so much pain when he dropped that 2-point conversion. I was like, it's probably a wrap. It's probably time to move on. We got Isaiah Likely in the building.
I get it. Listen,
Mark's giving us some good years.
He's been a great one for you.
But that game that he had, Bob.
Put him out the pasture.
I was done.
Put him out the pasture.
I'm done. I'm really done with Ed Reed. I don't know if you heard this story. We're at Radio Row. And AR's going to take up for Ed Reed. I'm not. Ed Reed is dead to me. Because Ed Reed.
They were in the bathroom together.
No, we were not in the bathroom.
I thought you said you were.
Is this the dare?
I came out of the bathroom. There's Ed Reed. I had the camera ready, Bob. Camera ready. I said,
because
listen.
it was rolling in the bathroom?
No, right. I said, listen, can I get a quick selfie with you? He said,
at
no.
the urinal.
And just left. And just left me in the dust and went on to take pictures with other people.
Oh, no. See, if he just would have got out of there, that's fine. But the fact that he dusted you.
And went on to take pics, Ed Reed, one of my favorite.
One of them?
No, he was actually going over to Travis Hunter's podcast. But yeah, Ed Reed, dead to me. Dead to me.
That's, hey,
I told Maddie, don't meet your heroes.
Don't meet your heroes, man.
It was tough.
Like, I love Barry Bonds. I know that Barry Bonds is a jerk, so I would expect him to treat me as such. But, like, if you think that there's a guy that, by all accounts, Ed Reed's a pretty likable guy.
He seems like it.
Yeah.
I happened to be slightly with Joe Montana. Slightly. He reluctantly took the picture. He looked like he was hostage. He was so.
Oh, listen.
That was that one.
Did you bind him up?
No. The hands were not tied. All right, CB. What's next? Or Bob,
Here's
sorry.
the next one. Truth or dare.
Yeah.
At least 3 1 seeds will make the Elite 8. Maddie.
That's close.
I love Florida. I've got Houston getting there. Cooper Flag? Where we at?
Brian Rauf said he's going to be fine.
Okay.
He said he could have played.
New ankle. They just plugged it right in
You
there.
said 3-1 seeds. I'm a little worried about Auburn right now, Bob. But I'm going to go true. 3 of them I think will get there to the Elite 8.
I think that's the betting favorite. And since my bracket will probably reflect that, I'll say truth.
There you go. Way to double down. You don't want to hedge it out? You got time for one more?
Yeah, one more.
All
Sure.
right, here we go. The Big Ten will get shut out of the Final Four. Truth or dare, Rothman?
Brian Rauf, who we had on earlier.
How about Ralph Macchio?
Said no. Shout out Cobra Kai.
You think Sparty's getting there?
He thinks Sparty's getting there. I'm going to say
they're getting shut out.
They get shut out.
Yeah,
because they're really the only chance, so I'm not going to take the field over the Big Ten.
All right. That ends this
was
edition of Truth or Dare.
That may have been the best game we've ever played.
Shout out to the General.
The General comes in strong, swings in from the top vine off a spring break. All right, we're going to come back. More from Mel Kiper, who is the riser. He's got the riser, and it's going to rage on. We'll do it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hit a home run for happy hour and ask your Twin Peaks girl about local specials on drafts, cocktails, shots, and more.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
Bobcat Enterprises is your family-owned partner for landscaping and construction projects. Bobcat Enterprises sells and services a full line of Bobcat equipment, including compact track loaders, excavators, tractors, and more. Plus, Bobcat rents compact equipment and attachments. With Bobcat, you can rent the machine and own the results. Keep your business local. Stop by Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, or Zanesville, and find current specials and our full line of products by visiting bobcatent.com today.
All of our local shows have been ranked in the top 10 in the country by our industry peers, except for Timmy Hall and the Buckeye Show. I was going to make a joke about it, but it's more sad than anything. Poor Timmy, the fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Feeling the aches and pains of everyday life slowing you down? Introducing Blue Emu, America's #1 emu oil formula for pain relief. In a recent clinical trial, 91% of users saw improvement after using Blue Emu. Whether you're working hard, playing harder, or just staying active, Blue Emu penetrates deep to relieve joint and muscle pain fast. And best of all, you won't stink. Join the 91% who felt the difference. Find Blue Emu at your local retailer or online. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A lot of sunshine out there today, high 69. Increasing clouds tonight with a low of 50. Sunshine tomorrow with afternoon clouds, high 72. First day of spring will be Thursday. It won't feel like spring, though, as we're going to be looking at some rain showers, along with the possibility of some snow mixing in, highs only in the 40s. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
When the general rolls in, it keeps you on your toes.
No doubt.
That's the one thing. I can't mail it in.
Just never know what you're going to get from the general, you know?
A box of chocolates.
Sexual chocolate.
All right. Bet365 time.
Let's talk about it, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. They've launched a new sign-up offer that is absolutely tremendous. You bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. Customers will receive bonus bets after signing up.
You going back to the well?
No, I'm not messing around with that.
Nobody got time for those home runs.
I got time for that. I picked Shohei to hit a dinger yesterday at plus 220. That didn't happen. There is another baseball game, though, if you're interested, folks, that counts. Again at 6 a.m. tomorrow between the Cubbies and the Dodgers. But I'm looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. Give me Donovan Mitchell plus 145 to hit 4 3-pointers tonight. So I'm going with Spider Mitchell, the former Louisville Cardinal. 4 3-pointers AR plus 145. That's the juice on that one.
Sadly, I've been updating you guys weekly on what Vegas thinks of the Jackets. And as you know, that I've kind of triple stamped the double stamp. And as they said in Stripes, as Bill Murray said to John Candy, you're already dirty. So I might as well just stay in the mud. Vegas is now saying the Jackets have a 5-1 chance to make the playoffs.
Oh, no.
And if you want to bet no that they won't, it's minus 800.
Oh,
that means if you bet $100 of your soft earned dollars, ours today, and they didn't make the playoffs, if we bet against them, we'd win back a whopping $12.50.
Wonderful.
Which is not bad interest, 12.5% on your money, but
CB can't even get a caniac with that. I don't think.
Oh, listen, $200 doesn't buy you a pair of shoes, or $12 doesn't buy him a caniac. All right, I would say that the value's there. Yeah. I would actually lean in again to the 5-1. Like, if you're asking me to bet one way or the other, like you got to make a bet, no or yes, the value's on yes. If you look at the standings, you'd rather roll the dice that maybe they can turn this thing around, because third place is out of question now. Like, this is a wild card or bust team, I believe. And so if you look at the wild card situation, they're going to play Ottawa. They've got them. And they've got a game in hand on the Rangers.
Okay.
Problem is Ottawa has a game in hand on us. But, yeah, I mean, you're 2 points out of a playoff spot. I'd lean in. So 5-1 if you're forcing me to stay in it. I'll do it.
Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
So I think we already played the soundbite from Kiper on Jaxon Dart. He was the mover in the first round. It's weird. It's not that he's not good. It's one of those things that I didn't have him in the first round a month ago, and now he's here. And Maddie, I don't know what to believe. Is it because of quarterback desperate teams, and he's the it guy right now? Yeah. Over everybody? It's the only thing I can guess.
It's a combination of both.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely a combination of the two things that you were alluding to, man. It's these teams around the league that don't have a quarterback, haven't had a quarterback for years, specifically where Mel Kiper has Jackson going in his latest mock at 9 in New Orleans. You know, since Drew Brees, they've been swimming in the deep end, trying to find their guy that can bring them back to the promised land and really get in the mix in the NFC South. So it's absolutely that. And it's also the skill set that Jaxon Dart has. I mean, this guy could do a little bit of everything. Like, I don't know if he's going to be premier and elite at one thing, but you look at his collective skills, and there's absolutely something there to go along with the frame. And I think the respect he's earned playing in the SEC for a few years and being productive down in that conference. So if you're New Orleans and you believe in this guy, or any team that believes in him, go get your guy, right? Like, there's been so many franchises for years that have swung and missed on quarterbacks. You just got to keep swinging, because once you find that guy, the party really starts, and then you can fast track yourself into hopefully some playoff scenarios, and then you never know once you get in the tournament.
Yeah, I think there's just this, not fascination, I think there's an affinity for RPO quarterbacks. The defenses are so athletic. And if you have a guy that is accurate and can tuck and go, then all of a sudden you've got something. And most of these guys that get to the pros can run. And he's not lightning, but he's got enough of what offense coordinators would look for. He threw for 4,300 yards, and he ran for almost 700.
And you don't have to be lightning quick either, right?
No.
To do damage with your legs. This league's shown us, yes, you can have the Lamars and the Jane Daniels, but Mahomes, he's not the fastest guy.
Burrow's not lightning.
No. And we've seen, especially Mahomes, time and time and time again, him picking up key first downs. Just keep the drive alive. Like, that'd be the message to my quarterbacks. Of course, you'd want to have with what you said, because that is what makes your offense very scary, is having that element. But if you're a quarterback that can do his thing in the pocket, but also keep drives alive with his legs, that's what it's about.
Baker, same type of guy.
Be a chain mover. Yeah. Just be a chain mover.
I'm looking real quickly at the top statistical quarterbacks from last season, and you tell me when I get to a guy that you say can't move. Can't get him out of trouble. You ready? Mm-hmm. Burrow. Can? Yes. Goff? Is he
There's levels to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's not a statue, but he doesn't have
He's
that
on the lower end of the higher end quarterbacks.
For sure.
Right? Baker, for sure. Geno Smith, who was statistically very good last year.
I think he's in that golf category.
Sam Darnold.
Golf category. Well,
I think he's a little better. I think he's a little better than that. Lamar, of course. Patrick, yes, of course. Aaron, maybe not anymore.
No, he's done.
Herbert.
He's got it in him.
Purdy.
Yep.
Kyler Murray,
Absolutely.
of course. Bo Nix.
Absolutely.
Stafford.
No,
can move within.
He's in that golf camp.
Allen, obviously.
Yeah.
CJ, now can. Jaden, of course. Caleb, yes. Cousins. Probably on the back end of that. Jordan Love.
It's there.
Hurts.
Yes.
Yes.
So those are probably your top 20 guys?
I just went through the top 20.
Oh, okay, yeah. There you go. And the majority
Most of them can get you out of a jam.
Yep.
They have to.
Yeah.
All right, there's your pre-snap read for today. All right, guys, if you don't feel like moving and you're not lightning, I get it. But if you're a guy in your 30s, 40s, 50s for sure, and you're lacking motivation and drive, it's time to get on lowtcenter.com and book that appointment absolutely today to go get your T levels tested by the experts. Low T Center, they've been involved with this for more than a decade. Their experts will help patients, and they'll make you understand what it means, where you are on the scale, and then decide whether their personal treatment plan is right for you, and they will optimize it for you. It's not just a one-stop shop for every guy that walks in there. It has to be tailored to you, not a standard dose. And if you're a current patient, Low T Center is going to offer you $150 in referral credit for every new patient that you refer. So it's really time to go back to feeling your best, and this may be the answer. The signs I'm talking about, those symptoms that I mentioned, the tiredness, lacking motivation to drive, you've gained some weight, lost some muscle, all signs of low testosterone. So don't wait. Find out. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care. Pro Football Hall of Fame has an outstanding exhibit about the Golden Domers and their impact on the Pro Football Hall of Fame. One of their legends, Dave Casper, jumps on the program in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Getting the cold shoulder? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
A pepperoni pizza for the table.
Thank you.
May I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness, while the carbonation and notes of citrus enhance the flavor profile. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time.
Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts rubbing together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. You know what's better than new windows? A new window from Universal Windows Direct that's on sale. It's the tax time sale. You save big while making your home comfortable and energy efficient. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free. Plus, you pay no interest till 2030. Plus, you get an extra $500 off your home improvement project in March only. Schedule your free home estimate today, 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
All right, welcome back. You know, there are only 382 men to be enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. 14 of them went to Notre Dame, and one of the 14 was arguably the most versatile athlete to ever wear the Golden Dome. In fact, his coach, Aaron Rodgers, said he was the best athlete he ever coached, and there's a lot of evidence of that, of his versatility and athleticism. The captain of the 1973 Notre Dame national champs and a Pro Football Hall of Famer, tight end Dave Casper. Give us a little feeling on why Notre Dame was right for you.
Well, when I was recruited at Notre Dame, I was fortunate enough to get there because I wasn't heavily recruited, but there was a thing that happened between Eric Barsigan and some of his old assistant coaches, and I was being recruited to a smaller school, and he picked up that I could run. And I guess the story is I wasn't going to go to the school, and then he called up Eric Barsigan, and they came after me. And so I finally got recruited. But when I got recruited at Notre Dame, the guys were the nicest people. I looked at Wisconsin and another school, and the guys were all trying to show how great football players they were, and the guys at Notre Dame were going to class and doing stuff and just being really nice people, and that's what attracted me, just how nice they were. And so even if I would have never played a down, it was never any good. I could be on the team with these guys and enjoy it and get my degree and move on down the line. So it was just a nice place I just was just happy being there.
Gold helmet to gold jacket is the special exhibit they have at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's running now through April 27th. Give us a little taste of your feel of it.
It's kind of fun because they're all in one spot. They had some real artifacts there. They even had they have the football that I caught in the end of the Oakland Raider Baltimore game. After the goes to the post, I caught the goes to the post pass, which kind of kept me in the limelight for a while. And then I caught 3 more touchdowns that same game. And the final touchdown in overtime, they actually had this ball here because I kept it. So I gave it to Hall of Fame. Anybody would just like general good college football and pro football, I think they'd enjoy it.
Dave Casper with us, legendary tight end from Notre Dame, the Oakland Raiders, and a lot more. You mentioned that 77 AFC divisional playoff game against Baltimore. The goes to the post when you kind of pull what they call a Willie Mays and run under that football from Kenny Stabler, and then it leads to that double overtime victory. Do you view that as the best catch you ever made?
No, actually, the catch wasn't that hard. My adjustment was kind of good. People were moving in the secondary. I got open because I did get rid of my guy, but there's people out there, and Snake didn't throw it to me. He threw it to an open spot where the other defenders that were kind of circling around there couldn't get to. And when I looked, I did make a quick adjustment. So the ball came right straight down over my head. And those are really kind of fairly easy catches the way it was. I mean, the ball was right there and I caught it. It was just fortunate for me to have made a real quick adjustment to move, 3 or 4 yards to the right and get under the ball when I looked up and it was there. And so it was, and it's kind of been a nice thing. People all, it's one of the top 25 plays. It's always, thank God I did it in the playoff game. So,
did you feel you had a special relationship with Ken Stabler?
Snake was about 5 years older than me, and we talked in practice. And I mean, I didn't go out there and say I've got this one or throw. I never asked for a pass. Snake was an amazing guy. He could look out there and just see what was going to happen. So, I mean, I would just run routes, and he'd been we in training camp, when I first was young, I'd just run routes, and he knew what I was doing. He could tell by the way I'd run where to throw, what I was going to do and when I was going to break, and he was very accurate at getting the ball there. So I think anybody who was catching Ken Stabler passes was going to catch a few extra just because of how he could figure out where you're going and he could make those adjustments. And you just had to count on him, but we never really hung out as a duo or anything like that. We were just two guys doing our jobs, and we didn't really talk a lot. We'd chit-chat here and there and maybe make a joke, but, I mean, it wasn't like we went out and drank and talked about football or anything like that. Snake did his deal, and, I just tried to do my deal.
Dave Casper with us, Pro Football Hall of Famer, legendary player, and the exhibit at the Pro Football Hall of Fame from gold helmet to gold jacket is there through April 27th. And what a wonderful exhibit it will be for football fans to see. You have been involved in two of the most famous plays in NFL history, the 77 divisional playoff game we talked about, and then obviously the Holy Roller in 78. Stabler's getting rid of that football. Looks like he's trying to pass. They call a fumble, and you're kind of stumbling through it. And if you land on it before it gets in the end zone, the game's over. It has to get into the end zone. And so you were kind of how would you put it, accused of kicking the ball? When I see the highlight, it looks like you were doing your best just to get a hold of it. For the record, Dave, what's your view of the Holy Roller game?
What you said was correct. I was trying to pick the ball up, and it bounced over my hands, but I was keeping my legs really narrow. So even though the ball got under my hands, my legs, kicked it back forward. Now, I didn't. You can advance the football about any way you want to as long as you're advancing it. You can't punt it. You can always punt the football. People may not know that. I can be in the middle of the game and just punt it, then it turns into a punt. And, they can return it, and we can down it. But I didn't kick the ball like a punter. I was just advancing the ball. It would have been a lot easier for me to have been coordinated enough to just pick it up and run in. But no, I had to miss the ball and kick it back to myself. And then then I could see while I was doing this, I was looking at the ball. Obviously, I saw the big wide stripe go by, and then I knew I could. And I had to fall carefully on it. And I've jumped on more than one fumble and missed them and bounced them out of the way. So this thing I was trying to be careful, but it was really kind of a klutzy play. I was just lucky I didn't kick the ball somewhere else. And then Pete Banaszak was in between us, and he batted it forward, which is fine. This was all stuff that just happened. And then I was this klutz that came in at the end and fell on it. And it's a great play. And they made rules, and so you can't do it anymore. But at the time, what's Snake going to do? He's not going to take a sack. He's just going to let go of the ball.
Dave Casper, the Hall of Fame tight end class of 2002 and one of the 14 Notre Dame alums included in the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the exhibit, gold helmet to gold jacket. College, you won a title. High school, I believe you were unscored upon in high school in your final year. You win a Super Bowl with the Raiders. Anything stand out to you above the others?
The national championship and the Super Bowl are both big, and the national championship was kind of special because we were friends. We're kids on the same team, and we went there for many reasons in addition to football, because it was the Notre Dame thing. So I think the Notre Dame relationship is something that is very hard to replace, although I think I'm friendly with the Raider guys too. I still hang out with the Notre Dame guys because we just have so much in common, and we have a lot of other guys, like there's 14 of us in the Hall of Fame, and some great other guys I'm sure will come to this exhibit and be there here and there, and because we just have so many really good guys.
You played for a couple of iconic coaches, and Ara Parsegian that we talked about, and then John Madden. Was that an adjustment going from college from Ara to playing for John Madden in the pros?
Madden, when he was a broadcaster, he was very entertaining. But when he was a coach, he wasn't entertaining. He didn't say much. He practiced. He just told, here's practice, do your drills, do your stuff. And we went down the line, and it was very similar to Ara Parsegian. He did not say as much as you'd think he would have said, and he was just coaching, so they were both great coaches. I think Ara was a coach that probably knew more of the detail of what he was doing than he was an assistant, where John got a lot of good assistant coaches, and, he made them, but they both were teachers. They would teach you how to play football. They didn't tell you what they wanted you to do. They'd teach you how to do it, and they get good assistant coaches to teach you the skills you need and run the drills and stuff like that. So they're both very good coaches. John was a little bit, once he became a broadcaster, he became something that you wouldn't have recognized if he was a coach. He would have never said many words at all during practice. But you know, he knew what he needed to do when he needed to do it. So he's one of a kind.
What did you think of Freddie Biletnikoff and the Stickum and that whole era?
What the Stickum did, in my opinion, and I used a little bit of Stickum. I'm a tight end. Your hands are in the dirt all the time. All you're going to get is dirty hands. But you would keep a little bit of Stickum on that and on my inside of my arm because it stopped fumbles. I mean, the catching the ball, you had to kind of be careful because sometimes it'd be too, catching with Stickum can also mean the ball doesn't go into your hands far enough. Then finally they outlawed the stuff and we couldn't use it, but, and it didn't make a killer difference, but I do know that I didn't fumble the ball when I had Stickum on. And I thought it would be smart. Anybody on earth who's a receiver that didn't put on Stickum would have been crazy not to have tried it because it helped you.
From a small-town kid from the Midwest to achieve everything you have, it's that you're immortalized in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Rule number one in life is get on a good team.
And you did, and you made the most of it. Dave, this was a pleasure. Thank you. Be well.
All right, thank you. Take care.
You got it. The Ghost. Dave Casper from a tiny little town called Chilton, Wisconsin. In his final year in high school, in the 8 games, they outscored their opponents 363-0. They weren't scored upon. And it was a small-town team. They're ranked 8th in the state behind all the large schools in the state, and there was no playoff system at the time. So he goes on to Notre Dame, wins a national title, and then gets into the College Football Hall of Fame and goes to Raiders, wins a Super Bowl, catches a touchdown in the Super Bowl. And I know you're going to be proud of me because this is 2 straight weeks. 2 straight weeks. Morton Anderson, who booted my team out of a chance to play in a Super Bowl, and Dave Casper, who hammered my Vikings in Super Bowl 11, the last Super Bowl they were in, 32-14. It's 2 weeks in a row. I put away the purple pride and said it's more important.
You've handled it well.
Talk to the legends.
You've handled it well. And what he said at the end is so real. Get on a good team.
Yeah. Life and sports.
You can be so talented. If you go to the wrong spot, you just never know where your career is going to go. You go to the right spot,
situation,
you're going to hit the ground running.
Got to have talent to stay, but it's great to be there. The other thing I will tell you before we take the break here. So all during that interview, when I'm talking to Dave Casper, I'm thinking to myself as I'm asking him these questions, who does he sound like? He sounds like somebody I know, an announcer, an athlete, somebody. And it finally hits me.
Who you got?
And I want to know if you guys feel the same way. He has a lot of Tom Hamilton.
There's a little bit of hammy in there.
I'm telling you,
in there.
It hit me like a lightning bolt.
There's a little hammy in there.
When he went into a certain inflection of his voice, it was Tom Hamilton. In fact, tomorrow, maybe I grab a Tom Hamilton and a sentence from Ghost and see.
We got to get Hammy on the show before the season starts. But
Crazy,
I know,
huh?
I see
now
where
do you
you're
hear
at
it?
with that. I see where you're at with that for sure.
All right, we'll come back with Tell the Truth next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay -108 than -110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sportsbook. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Right now, select varieties are buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
March is on at Lindsay Honda. Shoot your shot and save. It's madness. You get to choose your finance rate on over 600 new Lindsay Hondas. 0%, 1.9, 2.9, and up to a full 60 months long. And no trade-in required. This deal works with 0 down. March is on at Lindsay Honda. Save with rates as low as 0% at lindsayhonda.com.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
See lindsayhonda.com for details.
Scott for Scott's here. How did the grass feel when it woke up from winter? A little crabby. Get it? Crabgrass? Right now, there's a short window of time to apply Scott's Turf Builder Halt's Crabgrass Preventer. It stops crabgrass before it invades and feeds your lawn for a fast green up after winter.
Save up to $20 today at the Home Depot or Lowe's for Scott's Day Lawn Saving Time. Offers valid March 6th through 19th. See store for full details and product selection.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and all right, get this. If my scale had feelings, I think it'd be filing a restraining order. I am down now 63 pounds in just 14 weeks. You do the math on that, that's about 4.5 pounds every single week. Last week alone, another 4.2, poof, gone. The fat just keeps melting off, and let me tell you, I really owe 99% of this to my coach, Natalie. She's not just helping me lose weight, she's out here engineering it, tweaking my plan each week, making sure I don't miss a snack, telling me to add more butter. Yep, heard that right. Well, olive oil in there too, that's pretty good, and basically being the therapist we all need when making a gigantic life change. Wouldn't you say 63 pounds is a big 180? This is what Awaken 180 brings. Guidance, support, and a plan that actually works. There's no guesswork, there's no starvation, no magic potions, just real results week after week, brick by brick. If you're tired of hoping the weight will come off, get with Awaken 180 and know that it will. 63 pounds down, how much do you want to lose? You can start today at awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and spring is here, and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get mulch ready for the season. Now through April 5th, get 5 bags of red, black, or brown mulch for just $10.95. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your yard with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, cleaner, greener, better.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Federal Elite Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Our little detective work during the break. You'll love this. So it hit me that Dave Casper sounds a lot like Tom Hamilton, legendary broadcaster. Mm-hmm. So I said to CB during the break, I wonder where Hammy grew up. Hammy grew up in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Appleton, Wisconsin is not that far from Chilton, Wisconsin, where Dave Casper was in high school. And then Hammy called the single-A Appleton Foxes baseball, went to Madison to call Badger football. And then I even took it one step further, and I said to CB, I wonder if they're related. So, and we'll call this the Rothman prophecies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's some good investigative journalism.
They're both Wisconsin dudes, and they sounded like brothers to me.
They do sound
And it didn't hit me until 8 minutes into the interview.
Mm-hmm. Is that your little brother? He's a good-looking kid.
That would be unreal.
You're on to something.
Somehow.
You're on
Somehow there was some relative stuff there. Dave Casper, I believe, is he 73?
Where's Hammy at?
Hammy's at 70, so they easily could.
Because those. It'd be Big Cuz. You know?
My goodness.
It's his cousin.
The eeriest thing ever. The fact that they just sound alike is good enough.
Now we got to get Hammy on and ask him, is there any bloodline connection?
You idiot. No. But you sound so much alike. All right, go ahead, CB. Take us home.
All right, we just crossed the 4-hour mark until the tournament officially begins. The first 4 starts tonight at 6:40. True college basketball degenerates like myself will watch the 16-seed matchups between Alabama State and San Francisco tonight and American and Mount St. Mary's tomorrow. But you'll probably be looking for the 11-seed matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Good one tonight between San Diego State and North Carolina. And tomorrow is Texas and Xavier. Get it in the door price for tomorrow is about $1.50 right now. Xavier's going to bring up a great contingent of fans up from Cincinnati. But the question is this: will you be locked into these 11-seed matchups heading into the tournament?
Locked?
AR, we got to, right now on paper, a tip time for both is 9:10. You know how that works this time of year. I could easily turn into 9:20, 9:30.
No, I'm not going to be locked.
They'll be on the last button?
Yeah.
Last
I think that's
button
smart.
type of vibes?
I think the better question I would have is, I'll give you guys the prop that's floating out there, and CB, you can answer this too. Tell the truth. What happens first in the NCAA tournament? Bill Raftery says onions? Or Kevin Harlan says bang?
Oh, I need to see which games they're calling because that's pretty important.
Wait, did Kevin Harlan still bang for Mike Breen and I missed it? If I'm Mike Breen, I got a problem with that.
I think he stole it from Keith Olbermann.
Oh, I don't know. Mike Breen's been doing bang for years calling the Knicks games.
Not before Keith Olbermann would say it on SportsCenter.
Well, Mike Breen, that's his word. That's his phrase. He's known for the bang calls.
I know he is.
I didn't know Kevin Harlan. Okay. But I'm going to go onions.
I didn't know that he trademarked bang.
Yeah, that's Mike Breen's over there.
But I do remember, well, I shouldn't say the timeline. I really don't know.
What are you picking first?
I will
Harlan's
also
bang?
say in 1986 when Jack won the Masters and he eagled 16 on Sunday, Ben Wright, the longtime golf announcer, said, "Yes, sir," at 16.
I do like that.
Or I'm sorry, 15. My bad, 15. And when Jack birdied 17, Vern Lundquist said, "Yes, sir," and guess who got the credit? The guy who said it last, not Ben Wright.
That's tough.
Vern stuck around a lot longer.
Yeah.
Ben was cast off. But if you go back, the 86 Masters, I'll let you borrow my DVD, that he said it first.
Okay.
So this is interesting. So Raftery has 2 116 games on Friday, so that might make it a little tough to get to his. And I think Harlan has the Troy-Kentucky game, and Kentucky's always been pretty susceptible to losing in that first weekend. And Troy has had a really good season down there in the Sun Belt. I would probably go with Harlan.
Troy Trojan, CB, do I have that correct?
That is right.
Okay.
You got it right. Trojans.
All right, if a quarterback gets overdrafted,
you got it right. You got it right.
I can't even continue.
Sorry.
If a quarterback gets overdrafted and forced into the first round, which quarterback will it be?
I saw Les Snead talking to the Rams GM Rams GM Les Snead talking to McAfee today, and he was saying he doesn't think very many quarterbacks are going in the first round. Maybe just be one.
No. Shador's not dropping out of the first round.
That's all Les said.
If anybody forces their way into the first round, it's going to be Jaxon Dart.
I don't think he's going to. I think he
may not.
now.
Yeah, he may not have to force it.
In now.
Yeah.
What is going on with Quinn Ewers? Like, I've heard nothing about him. Nothing. And coming into last year, he was one of those guys. Hey, he's going to be a first round pick. Did he hurt his stock that much? Like, because to me, he's still that guy that I think could work his way back in with the arm talent that he has, but he's had injuries, his availability.
Yeah.
You think he's going to, okay, wow.
I mean, he's probably day 3 from what
a fall
we're not hearing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't run very well. He can be athletic somewhat. Is he mobile in the pocket? I mean, he didn't sense Jack bearing down on him.
And he did not. What high school did Jack Sawyer go to? Quick reminder.
One of the ones in Pickerington, I heard.
It wasn't Central. It was North, right?
It was North. It was absolute North, baby. Shout out to my Panthers all over the
you don't
world.
think that there's something going on injury-wise? Like, he was injured in all those years he was at. I mean, he played hurt
I forget what exactly they said, but they said he played most of the year with a pretty serious injury.
Yeah, I wonder if that's it, man. I wonder if there's something
I think that is it
there.
Yeah.
Because he was injured in all 3 seasons as a starter. Now, I praise him for playing through it, but
you can't bet on that if you're an NFL
And
team.
Sark's passing scheme isn't, like, dumbed down. It's fairly complex.
The truth shall set you free.
Coming up on Common Man and T-Bone, Common Man is back in the house today, and it is the final foe of Pizza Madness, so don't move.
All right, we will be back tomorrow with you on a Hockey and Hounds Wednesday. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman for my friends at your main Honda of Dublin. Rich is caught up in the madness, and he's passing it to you for a slam dunk of deals. He's got rates as low as 0%, leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 2025 Honda Prologue all-wheel drive Elite? Lease it for $297 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $19.99 down. And he's even throwing you an extra $1,000 for your trade. More than 500 new and pre-owned to choose from. See dealer for details at your main Honda of Dublin.
Hi, Kevin. How's my engine doing?
Well, you tell me, little lady.
What?
Ma'am, an engine is delicate. It's got a lot of parts rubbing together.
Oh, is that so?
Lube her up real nice, and she'll purr like a kitty cat.
How do you know so much about engines?
Well, I spent a lot of time under that hood.
Babe, she is running hot. Let's go. And next time, I get to play the mechanic.
Rev up the romance with Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Here's 3 reasons to buy your Blue Jackets ticket plans for the 25-26 season. 1, pick your seat and pick your games. 2, plans start at just 11 games. 3, priority access to Stanley Cup playoff tickets. Act now. Visit bluejackets.com/tickets.
Ready to hit the road in a new car? With Pathways, enjoy up to 90 days with no payments and low auto loan rates. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall, and it is my time of year. And when it comes to college basketball and March Mania, you got to expect one thing, the unexpected. Buzzer beaters, upsets, last-second miracles, blue bloods being toppled. It's all going to happen, so bet the unexpected. Every upset every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. With live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays, DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. First time, here's something special. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TheFan971. That's code TheFan971. And new customers get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Ohio only. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/.